It's a podcast from Steam Powered Giraffe. It's the Bennettarium. Oh, we got a lot to talk about, 'cause we skipped a week. Oh, Bennettarium. It's the Bennettarium, and it's starting right now.
Welcome to the Bennettarium. We are your hosts, Isabella Bunny Bennett, and I play Rabbit in Steam Powered Giraffe.
Hello there, I am Chelsea Penyak. I play a Walter worker with Steam Powered Giraffe.
And my name's David Michael Bennett, and I play the Spine in Steam Powered Giraffe.
You know, it's a fun fact that the Spine never actually says his name like that.
You're right. This is the only time I ever say it. Not on stage. Well, yeah, I do. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take this time to introduce ourselves. And then I go, my name's the Spine. I totally say it just like that.
Well, I just wanted to. It was a quiz. You passed the test. And now for our special guest, unsweetened blackberry tea.
Is that what it is?
No, it's just unsweetened black tea.
Oh.
Not even that
Let's
exciting.
jump right in.
I added a berry in there.
I wish it was berry. I asked Starbucks if they had any like unsweetened fruit teas, and I was like, could I get a black peach tea? And she's like, oh, okay, yeah, the peach is syrup. You want that? And I'm like, no.
Freshly squeezed from the bottle.
Let's get right into the debate. I don't like tea.
Let's talk
That's
about
cool.
that. Let's talk about something that happened last week in the Starbucks
Ew.
universe.
Oh.
Okay.
The unicorn frap. Did anyone try one?
No.
I know Gabby did, but
I tried one.
I only saw people on Instagram with
Okay,
it.
I have a friend who's a barista, and she hates all of you who ordered one.
It's really hard to make? Is it really hard to make?
Frappuccinos in general are the bane of a barista's existence. If you order a frappuccino, odds are your barista hates you.
You know, coffee places are the bane of my exit. No, I'm just kidding. It doesn't really affect me
No,
at all.
it's just because they're a pain in the butt to make compared to just making a nice coffee or something. But my friend on the first day that the unicorn frappuccino was out, her store made 200 while she was on shift, and she was like, I hate everyone.
I bet no one's drinking it now. It was like,
well, and it looks
take your pictures on the day one, and then no one's...
Well, wait.
Yeah, she was
didn't
like,
it
if
only
you
last
Instagram
to
your
the weekend?
unicorn
I think
frap,
something like
I'm
that.
blocking you.
They only made it to the
So
weekend.
it's
It looked like it tasted disgusting.
It tasted good, but when you hit the ribbons of blue, it got tart, and the tartness, it got too tart.
So wait, we had
just
that.
sounds
We had that
nasty.
Pokemon Go Frappuccinos just for
That
That one
was
wasn't
nasty too.
That
That
was
was
laughs.
I would prefer the unicorn one over the Pokemon one.
because the Pokemon
They-
one was so like too sweet.
Yeah,
It was just berry. It was just frozen
was
berries
it tart,
mixed in
tart
vanilla.
as well.
No, it was just
No, it
it
was
was
just-
too sweet.
It was
felt
just a
like,
bunch of
it
frozen
was like
berries.
drinking candy. I'm
So
like,
the unicorn
ugh.
one, I think that my biggest critique is that it's way too tart.
I don't like too sweet drinks.
But you know,
and I
it's-
don't like bitter drinks like tea.
But I don't think it has as much
I don't
sugar.
like anything.
It doesn't have as much sugar as like
do you
Coca-Cola
like?
or
Yeah.
like your regular purchase at
Well,
Starbucks. So it's not as bad as like it looks.
Really? Because
Yeah.
I heard that a grande had 59 grams of sugar. Isn't that pretty bad?
I don't have any I don't have a scientist here.
I don't know.
Like,
That's
I
what
heard-
it takes. It takes
I
a
heard-
scientist to figure this stuff out.
I heard the unicorn frap was really, really bad for you.
I
Which
mean,
I'm not
it's just
surprised
sugar.
by.
I mean,
Yeah.
probably all
Bad for
Starbucks
you?
is pretty bad.
Like
yeah,
processed-
I'm sure
a lot
it's
of
a lot
processed
of
sugar.
There's, I mean, definitely there's like ribbons of.
It doesn't. Nothing
Syrups.
about it looks natural. So I was not.
It
gonna
looked
touch
pretty,
It.
and I like taking pictures of it, and I made a joke about it, and I had a laugh. And I wouldn't get it again, but I don't have anything I can drink at Starbucks.
Did you have to pay a premium to get it? Or was it just a regular Frappuccino price?
Yeah, it was about. I think it was. I don't know.
was probably
Let's just say it was overpriced, so we can be mad at Starbucks. Yeah, it was like $3 more.
I've never willingly
To
gone
be
into a Starbucks
fair,
myself.
Starbucks gets a bad rap, but if you're just ordering a plain coffee, their prices aren't unreasonable. And every other coffee chain that serves, frilly Frappuccino drinks, they're expensive too. Starbucks is no more expensive than any other coffee chain that sells blended drinks.
It's all bad to me. It's all coffee.
I did the coffee thing. I have a coffee bean right down my street that's a drive-through, which is amazing.
I like coffee beans.
Coffee bean's good.
They have a lot of good like coconut milk options.
Yeah, they have a pretty
They're better
wide
than
variety.
Starbucks.
And I've done Starbucks, but I've kicked caffeine because it was just interfering with my day-to-day, my anxiety and everything. So it was like, it's been hard because I like my girly, stupid drinks and I can't have them because everything has caffeine except for unicorn vomit and
I don't know when
Pokemon Go.
when like
Fraps or-
Chelsea or Peniacs get like teas.
When we go to our boba places.
They usually just get me like a smoothie, and they
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
put popping boba in that, and I'm like,
Pretty much.
But that's just sugar and ice.
Yeah. I mean, they'll use real fruit, but it's still a lot of sugar. But yeah, you can get like ice slushes and blended smoothies at those
But
places.
all you need to know, listeners, is that water is readily available.
Water is nice. I drink a lot of water. I drink about like 3 of these a day.
Let's see. I used to have a 40-ounce one. This one's
They
like
say you're supposed to drink more than that, but I just
27
can't.
ounces. I drink it, and then when it's empty, I fill it up again.
Yeah.
I go through by myself probably a gallon of water a day. Is that too much?
No, that's good for you.
Probably good. I don't know.
I only know because the thing that I use I probably talked about in the podcast before, but the container that I have in there holds about a gallon of water, and
You're very healthy. The majority of people in this country are dehydrated all the time, and they just don't realize it because most people don't drink enough water.
when I wake up in the morning, I'm usually
Including
dehydrated.
I feel horrible in the morning. If I don't drink water like consistently throughout the day, I feel
Well,
terrible.
I'll
I get
wait-
headaches. and,
I
like-
usually wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh, I got to drink. And
Yeah.
some people see like me drinking a lot of wine. They're like, do you have diabetes or something? Like, no,
No,
I'm
it's just good for
drinking
you. Yeah.
water.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you get comfortable with something and you just don't do. I mean, I there was a time when I didn't drink a lot of anything. You know, I'd have like a soda a day, and I wasn't drinking water. I don't even know how I got any
Yeah.
hydration. Like, but now it's like constant water all the time.
Sure. Yeah. And I have
being tired, having a headache, is all those little symptoms of dehydration
Yeah.
that like don't really incapacitate you completely. It's just everyone has constantly, and they don't realize it. You need more water.
and you don't need to go out and buy a bunch of expensive water. You just need to go buy a water distiller.
I mean, Aquafina is tap
And make
water. That
water
is.
every few
well,
hours.
the filters are good too. I've used the filters.
Yeah, I just put tap water into one of those little jugs that has like a filter. That's about all I do.
That's pretty good for getting rid of chlorine and stuff. But if you really want to get here in the San Diego area, I mean, we're using I think the La Mesa Municipal Water Supply.
We got like fluoride.
Or no,
and-
it's Helix Water District, I think, where we are here. So that's has fluoride they put in a few years ago. I'm like, oh no. But I switched to reverse osmosis water at a different apartment because the sinks had the adapters that I could use my portable reverse osmosis machine, and that was pretty good. It takes out a lot, like 99% of everything. And you have to change. You change the filters every while, but it doesn't, not too much. And then once I moved into a different apartment a few years ago, I wasn't able to. The sinks were those fancy ones that had the different sprayer things. So I couldn't use it. So I was like, what's the next best thing? I don't want to go back to a filter. So then I got a water distiller, and now I cook my water, which is nature's way. Water is distilled, by the environment. It evaporates and stuff like that. And, some puddles and stuff that animals drink out of, it's distilled water. I mean, it's obviously dirty, too, because it's been sitting out. But it's not too bad.
I bet like there's like the listeners are like they're getting thirsty about now. I'm getting thirsty. I'm almost out of water.
To be honest, I'm
This
very,
will be what is that?
I'm very
ASM?
sensitive to the taste of different waters. Like certain brands of bottled water, I can't drink. Like I hate Aquafina. Ew, stop it.
Aquafina is just filtered tap water. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
but I like the
What
taste
is that?
of
ASM? What are they called?
like I like
Audio
Arrowhead,
Sensual.
yeah.
Crystal Geyser. I don't really like the taste of your distilled water because there's like nothing in it.
It's the taste of nothing.
I like the taste of a little. I like some minerals.
Well, that's not
I
that's
like
not
spring
fair.
water.
It has a charcoal filter in there because
Yeah.
it has to put some carbon-ish in there. Otherwise, it's too neutral, and then
To be honest,
it'll absorb the air, and that'll become acidic.
sometimes I mostly just do tap water when I'm
So
if I want to refill my thing.
if
or
I
I'm
have too many
waiting.
people over, like, because I only budget for cook enough water for myself.
Cooking water.
You don't have to do much. The thing does it by itself. You just have to clean it out every once in a while. You have to descale it and stuff. But
I only cook enough
maybe,
water
like,
for
to
myself.
descale all the lizards that you have to put in there for the minerals.
it's not. I use citric acid to descale. It's not very hard once you start doing it, and you can use it for everything. But I'd only drink it.
Water's good. I mean, PSA. It's like drink water. Like soda. Like I mean, I drank soda in like through college and high school and elementary school here and there, and it was like you just don't realize like how bad it is
yeah,
like, to drink that stuff.
If I don't have a water bottle with me, I'm gonna die. Like that's what it feels like now. But in college, I didn't have like a water bottle I carried with me.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, time for a soda.
Time
at
for
the
a
end of the day.
Pepsi. It's like, I mean, literally, it's just liquid sugar, and yeah, it tastes good. You know, it's like, oh, it's fun. It gives you energy and caffeine and stuff, and it's like. But it's horrible. It's like just it's sugar. It's sugar, and it tears apart your teeth.
I don't even have a I don't have a
did
palate
carry
for that
a water
kind of
bottle
stuff.
around in school, but I was dancing rigorously every single day, so I think that was like
Yeah.
a good habit that I fell into, taking water to school.
I think-
Mostly at school, like sometimes you have water fountains, so I do remember drinking it from water fountains a lot.
We
but-
did I mean, I think especially like doing plays and like shows and then doing Steam Powered Giraffe, we just got in the habit of always having water because you expend so much
Yeah,
energy
you
and you're
just sweat so
dehydrated and your
much, yeah.
voice is like. So yeah, I think athletes and performers and stuff, they kind of know that, you know, you got to drink water.
But also, I the older I get, the less of a sweet tooth I have. I don't know if maybe as a kid, maybe it's just because your parents kind of give you candy because kids like candy.
No,
but,
yeah.
But I don't like. I mean, the only candy
Yeah.
I'll eat is chocolate, and even then, you know, not much. I don't know.
Yeah, chocolate's the only candy I really.
I can't do it. Like Easter just rolled around, and my parents
like
gave
any
me the
of it.
big Easter basket full of
But-
candy.
You give me the Reese's stuff, I'm like,
I
ugh,
used-
it's so garbage
when
chocolate.
I can't eat that
It's
stuff.
the worst chocolate.
I threw all that out, but half the fun is like getting it and it's pretty and all that. But like when I was a kid, I could eat like half my Easter basket full of candy in a day, and now it's like I eat one piece of chocolate, and I'm like, okay.
I like all types of
I
chocolate.
could probably do like jelly beans. The jelly bellies are decent,
Yeah.
but if I'm gonna reach for candy, it's probably gonna be like some sort of like what do you call it? Like a British brand. It was really great going to the UK and like finding all of my favorite brands there.
If I'm gonna have chocolate, it's got to be. I don't care if it's dark or milk. I enjoy both, but it's got to be expensive.
to kind of
Yeah.
to kind of taper off the water thing. So what helps me whenever I want a fun drink, because I have nothing fun to drink anymore. Like I used to love my coffee and stuff.
Water's all the fun you need.
I don't drink soda anymore, so it's like what I switched to is like Puree and sparkling water and stuff.
Oh
and-
yeah.
which
no.
is really fun, and it comes with they have flavors that are made with nothing. It's like
Do you drink La Croix?
What do we?
The canned sparkling water?
I think I tried one of them and I wasn't like too
They're
impressed.
pretty
but
good. I like the coconut one.
I'd have to try
was
it.
that one? Was that
try it
one stuff
again.
they have that? We tried some of it. It was like it's like fruit water.
Oh, that's San Pellegrino.
No, not that. It's called
Oh, Hint.
Hint.
Yeah,
never
I
tried
like
that.
that's not
And for me,
carbonated.
No, it's
but it's
literally
really,
just water
it's just
with
water with
fruit-
essence of fruit.
flavors in it.
Yeah,
Really
it's
good.
natural.
it's nice if you want something that's fun, but it's not gonna do damage to you. You can,
Mhm.
you can
But
drink
when I
that.
drink that, I'm like, I'd rather just drink water because to me it tasted like tap water with just
yeah.
just,
I like the carbonation. The
catch.
carbonation is
Yeah,
it's fun. Like
yeah.
cracking open a Puree can, it's like ice cold, and the aluminum taste on your
Perrier
lips.
is good.
Oh,
No,
from
from
a can?
the glass bottle.
From a glass bottle is really good.
Perrier is like
The
yes.
the plastic bottle Puree is awful. I bought some
Oh,
just to
yeah.
see what it was like, and it's like pour that shoot into a.
you can. I think the only
Is that
thing
the-
you
is that
can't
the
say
alternate?
here is.
Can I say shoot on?
yeah. You can say
You can
shoot.
say, yeah.
Can I? I mean, that's what I was going to say. I
Let's
wasn't going to
just
say
not.
another
It's
sh.
just not, and then we'll be fine. Yeah, I guess
you
you
pour
can.
that you
I've
pour that
said it.
shirt into a cold glass with ice, and that tastes better. Like the plastic bottles, they have no flavor. But aluminum or glass tastes amazing.
I don't know.
It's all about what you drink it from.
I think if you drink enough water, you just start to lose a taste for anything else. And then I'm like, why do I want that? I'd rather have water. So then to the point where I go to a restaurant, I'm like, give me the water. But then if you go to a restaurant, you're going to get tap water and it's going to taste garbage. And then so I usually bring this and I'm like, no, I brought my own.
I don't know. I like fun drinks. You
Me
gotta
too.
like fun.
Yeah,
If you
but
don't
if
like
I'm going
fun,
to if I
then-
go to, it'll be a milkshake or something, that'll just is like,
yeah, too heavy.
There's a great
I
milkshake.
love those sea salt teas and coffees.
Oh, yeah.
Right now, like where there's not like a ton of crap in it. It's just like a iced tea with the sea salt cream on top.
bitter.
So good.
Everything's bitter to me.
That's sad.
I think I just have a very
You're very
sensitive.
tannin sensitive.
But that's because I don't drink it all the time. So
Yeah.
when I taste like a tea, even a fruity tea, it's like, ugh, why is it so bitter?
Yeah, I know. I got that passion fruit tea, and to me, it just tasted like fruit juice. I was like, oh my god, I can down this like fruit juice. And I was like, try this, you'd like it.
It's a very
And he's like,
all teas
ew,
taste
there's
leafy
tea
and
in
bitter
this.
to
I was
me.
like, how do you taste the tea in this? It's so fruity and sweet.
I don't know. It's the same way with like people that have their coffee drinks that have like a hint of coffee in them. It's like that's all I
Yeah.
can taste.
It's just it's a vice that it's hard to kick because it's fun and it tastes good and it makes you feel good.
I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Have you guys been to Smash Burger before?
No.
There's a shake that they've been running since December. It's like I
Is
think
that
it's
the one that
like-
has the GameStop logo as the?
Yeah,
same
pretty
Yeah.
much,
color?
It's a really good burger place, and it's right near me, so
Is
it's
it?
like
Oh.
What's that other one?
I like it. But what I was saying is like they have a shake that is it's like a toffee cookie thing, and it's amazing. Like I've only drank it twice because it just feels so indulgent. But if you like shakes,
I went to this burger place, and it was called It's Something Burger, and
Five Guys.
no, it's like grass-fed beef, like the best.
That's True Food Kitchen.
No, not
right?
that.
Oh
It's-
wait,
I want to say
was
like
it
Epic Burger, but it's not Epic.
was it called
Burger.
like Evolve? Or was it
In,
was it in a mall?
I know
no,
which one
they-
you were talking
they
about.
ha-
I
I
haven't
s-
been to
they
that
have
one.
one
That
in
one's alright.
Oceanside. That's where I remember one. It's called I don't remember, but yeah,
Crazy
they
Burger.
no, but they have like it's like real good, like hamburger. It's like their ketchup is like high fructose corn syrup free,
That's good.
but I don't
Oh
know
wait,
what it's called.
I think I know what you're talking about. Oh my
I wanna
gosh.
say I've had it recently, but I can't remember.
Oh,
the
what is it
name.
called? What is it called?
It was so good it left an impression on
Yes.
me. Their
No,
name
I'm
left
gonna
an-
look it up because I know I actually had it delivered.
It was
Not too long
good.
ago.
It's like because Smashburger is actually pretty bad, like all the ingredients and stuff. But this place was like, you're paying a premium for like
I still like
lettuce
Smashburger.
only
Smashburger
from
is
the
still good.
the leafiest greens. I don't know.
I know. I'm gonna
Sounds
look
pretentious.
it up. It does.
But I mean, when you eat it, you can.
It
taste
is
the
really good. I
difference.
think I know which one you're talking about, and I do order
like a
that
cow that's a cow from just you can taste the difference.
Let me.
And some people say, oh, it doesn't marble as good because that they're not eating corn, and I'm like, I don't know.
Let me see.
It just tastes different, and I think it tastes better. I'm not all about.
Is it
fat.
called Burger Lounge?
Maybe?
Yeah, there's a lot of burger lounges around.
I want to say
They're
it was
really
like
good.
Epic Burger or Epic.
Oh. Well, Burger Lounge is really great.
Now we're just gonna look this up. Someone else talk while I look up stuff.
I was gonna get water, but okay.
I'm out of tea.
I'm out of water too. How are we
I'm
supposed
so
to continue
tired.
the podcast?
So tired.
Who wants to get up?
Wait, can
Well,
how
I
about
would, but I'm kind of trapped.
how about
here.
how about Dave and I refill our water, and Chelsea can just mumble some theme
Okay.
like the Greatest American Hero or something while we're away.
I don't know that one.
Believe it or not,
Well, if you don't know it.
There, I got you started.
Okay. How are you all today? Let me, yeah, I don't know. Okay, good. I'm
straight
off the
from
hook.
the tap. Good job. I liked your theme, whatever it was that you were humming. It was nothing. You were not doing anything. Tap water.
Pure Burger.
Oh, I've never had that.
Yeah, Pure Burger.
Well, I'm not. I don't know. I mean, I eat healthy. Mostly it's like, my system is like during the week it's like survival. Every once in a while I'll treat myself to something delicious, but it's mostly like spinach, chicken, maybe like beef once or twice a week, and then maybe fish once or twice a week. And it's just boring, and I hate eating, and it's just not enjoyable because it's just bland, tasteless food. I mean, it's good for you food, but
I
and
usually
then on the weekend I splurge and have like ramen or like burgers or something.
I've been doing not every day, but I do the munchery, and I usually just order it one of the salads or something because like the worst thing probably in those is maybe the dressing sometimes, but because I'm lazy and I don't want to cook. I don't even want to heat up something.
Salad is always the dressing.
Munchery is pretty great.
But it feels like I can eat a proper meal
Do you
at least
like-
once a day.
Yeah. Do you like oil-based dressings, like vinegary
Yeah.
stuff? Because instead of a bottled like vinegar or oil dressing, when I try and really cut back and be healthy, I will literally just toss my salad with some red wine vinegar and olive oil together, and it's really good.
Yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah.
I usually the only kind of lettuce that I'll keep in my house is either butter lettuce or spinach because I love spinach
Yeah.
and butter lettuce is like amazing. Like why use anything else?
I love butter lettuce.
Like getting one of those living butter
Yeah.
lettuce stems. It's like so good.
Also, I've totally eaten salads with no dressing and just avocado, like mixed
my
in
God,
avocado
yeah.
with it because it's creamy and it kind of substitutes.
I
as
love
a
avocado,
dressing.
but it lasts for like 2 days. It's like
yeah.
right, bright, bad, black, inedible.
Oh, I think
There's
I'm
only
gonna
one
get-
Pure Burger, and it's in Carlsbad, and it's 44 minutes away.
Oh,
That's how'd you get there?
I must have been on
Lunch
my way
break
back
after
from
this?
Oceanside.
I mean, I'll go if it's that good.
No, I'm not going 40 minutes. Yeah, we're gonna drive
Road
up. It's,
trip.
Lunch
because
break, everyone?
it's really close to Oceanside. That's why.
There's it's kind of there's one Red Robin. I know you guys probably don't like Red Robin.
I don't like Red Robin.
But I love Red Robin.
No,
there's
the
one in San
quality,
Diego.
Not good enough.
I go there for their campfire sauce, which is like a creamy barbecue sauce, and it's totally bad for you, but it's so good.
I can't even eat things that like are supposed to be vices because they don't taste good to me. Like if someone gave me McDonald's or or a Taco Bell. Or
I had to eat
Oh,
McDonald's
like that
recently. We were
stuff.
trying to get like breakfast, but we were on schedule, so we went through the drive-thru, and I was like, huh, they still make those breakfast burritos, and I was like, wow, they're really hot and fresh, and they just tasted like nothing.
Yeah, I mean that's what I feel like. I feel like there's no flavor in the stuff that I rember liking as a
Yeah, I don't know.
Kid.
And
Well,
it
that's
hasn't changed.
McDonald's.
My nostalgia was like, I remember these flavors in my mouth, but it's all I can register is like artificial
Yeah.
stuff in my head. Like, I don't know.
Ooh.
I think it's just, after a number of years of not eating crap, I think you just kind of, your palate changes, I think.
Yeah.
Because,
What do you feel about like In-N-Out Burger? Like, I know it's
I like In-N-Out
it's,
every once
I
in a
mean,
while.
it
It's
is
basic,
a greasy
right?
burger, but
Yeah.
like because the ingredients are fresh, it's like, it doesn't taste.
it has a
Well,
really
usually
good taste.
I eat In-N-Out maybe like twice a year.
Yeah,
But it's still like, greasy burgers with, but I mean, as far as greasy burgers go, it's like the best you could probably get, I imagine.
I keep trying Five Guys. I've tried it like 2 times in the last 2 years, and
Yeah.
everyone like loves it, and I'm like,
Nah.
what? It tastes so bland and like nothing. Like, I'm like, why is this good? Why do people like this?
Ugh.
Everything about it is just so basic and like,
In-N-Out's superior. I don't care what anyone says.
yeah.
I mean, they're trying to encroach on the West Coast. We have one in PB, but In-N-Out's still better.
I just don't. I've given them a chance like multiple times. And I'm like, this tastes like I could have made a better
I mean,
burger.
I've seen some people say about that with In-N-Out Burger, and I'm like, well, I mean, it is what it is. I wouldn't say they're the
They're
best
all
burgers.
fast food burgers.
Like
but
if I think of hamburger, I don't think of In-N-Out, because
No.
they're like small and they're not very expensive. I think that's the one thing, but their quality ingredients is what the driving force there is. But yeah, I mean, if I think about a burger, I'm like, oh, like a restaurant. I want to get like a nice.
So what do you eat on a daily basis, David? Is like you usually have like one munchie meal a day or something, and then
Yeah, I usually have. Well, right now I'm doing the Soylent stuff, but not for losing weight, just because I'm lazy and I don't like making food.
So what is your meal plan?
So I
look
usually
like?
have I usually have enough Soylent for 2 a day, and sometimes 3 if I've done too much work and I'm starving. But so I have that. I have one in the morning, which is great for hiking because I don't throw it up or anything. and then I usually have munchery around the afternoon. It's kind of like afternoon dinner because I don't.
Yeah, I probably
Yeah.
eat around 4 or 5.
And then usually I'll have a Soylent before.
like for dessert.
Well, I guess dessert, yeah. But
You
basically, because I
Yeah.
get hungry every 4 hours.
So you don't really like eat lunch or
I mean, before this I ate a
like
frozen. I have like a frozen Amy's thing,
stuff
so
is fine.
I just feel out. If I get hungry, I have to eat something
Well,
small.
A good snack, like if you're working but you don't want to eat a full meal for lunch, is just keep like nuts in the house. Like almonds are so good. It's such
My
a
problem
lifesaver.
with
So
anything
much
that's a snack
energy.
is I have to
Right.
eat the whole. I can't stop.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem. Like I never one time I was super enormous and I just had a problem. It's just I feel like
You
That's what
just
happens
gotta
when I have
learn
a snack.
portion
I'm like,
control,
I
and
just-
you gotta be okay with rolling up the bag
Nope.
after a few. And
because it's just like this is not gonna fill me up. I can eat this whole bag. I can eat
that's
2 of
the
these
point.
bags.
You're not supposed
Almonds
to
are
fill
nice.
up on it. It's just a little bit of fuel.
But I like the idea of a meal that has an ending.
You
And
can
I think
like
that's the problem.
you can do
I
meal,
snack
meal
a
preps
lot.
in
I like
the
grazing.
week, and then you can portion your almonds, so you don't eat them all.
Eh.
You do meal prep where you like make a bunch of stuff on Sunday night and then put
Yeah.
it in Tupperware.
The easiest way to not want to keep eating is to just stay busy because I feel like that's when I forget to eat, and then then it's like
But
6
that's
hours
the
into
thing, you
working,
can't forget
and I'm
to
like,
eat.
why is my head hurt? Why am
Yeah.
I so
I mean,
cranky?
eating
Why
is
is
good.
Almonds. That's why you
Body,
have
like,
to have
falling
like a
out.
little handful of almonds.
But
once
like
in a while.
usually then it if I do order munchery for the week or something, then it's like it arrives right when I'm ready to like punch someone in the face because I'm so cranky and hungry, and then I eat that and I'm like, okay, I can.
I mean, that's probably not.
So,
best
you
for
know.
you. But I mean, it's
But it's
Probably
when
want
it's
to eat
when
before
I'm
you
working.
reach that point.
Because if I have a day where I'm just doing menial tasks all day, then of course I have time to think about being hungry. But the minute I'm in front of a computer mixing stuff, and
Yeah.
I have less.
yeah.
a want to get away from the work.
Right.
Just saying.
But if I'm doing
nuts.
keep
some nuts around
what's it
for
called?
while you're working.
I'm not gonna have snacks around my house.
Good for you.
I mean, it's. I think it's. A lot of people probably struggle with this, but having a sedentary lifestyle, especially for Steam Powered Giraffe, where we're just,
Sedentary?
like you're sitting around at a
Sedentary.
computer.
Oh yeah.
You don't get out much because of your job, whether it's in a cubicle or like us, we're at our homes. I mean, you stand, which helps, but
Yeah, it helps
but
a lot.
you know, it's still like we're not doing like the most active thing. So like working, like hiking in your life, or what I do is I run around my apartment complex.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
so it's
I keep pretty busy during the week. I do 2 back-to-back days at my other job with the ballet. So I'm like out of the house. You know, it's not like I can work in my pajamas. So that keeps me feeling like active. Like, okay, I'm out in the world. I'm doing something.
Right.
And usually I end up with like 1 day off a week, maybe. And I'll lay in bed all day and play video games. And that satisfies that craving. I only
Yeah.
get that like once every 2 weeks or so. But yeah.
I like to stay active, but sometimes I have to like force something, because otherwise I'm just in front of a computer
Yeah.
doing graphic design or nothing, because
Yeah.
that's the job. It's like social media, planning for
No,
shows
totally.
and rehearsing, and it's like
I've had those days in the past when I've had less work, you know, other jobs and stuff, where I've had a lot of downtime, and I would just like drive down to the bay and walk, or just like sit on a
Yeah.
bench and look at the water, just to do something that
It's
wasn't sitting in bed.
it's a nice problem to have, but then you realize that you can't eat as much because
Yeah.
you're not gonna burn it off. So it's
Mhm.
like, well, during the week, like, because my week is always different. Sometimes I'm over here, sometimes I'm
Yeah.
rehearsing, sometimes doing absolutely nothing, and it's like, okay, well, now I'm just eating like spinach and the most basic things, because I'm not going to use all this energy. I mean, and I guess it is a nice problem to have, where you're kind of just sitting
Mm-hmm.
most of the day, but
I
it's not so great when it's because of your job, and like,
I really only sit for the podcast.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't make a standing workstation work in my situation. I mean, I could easily work on it, but if I had to do it, it would just
They make desk risers that sit on your normal desk, and they like can lift up.
My situation is kind of, I mean, I could do something, but it'd have to be like, so my desktop is a TV,
Yeah.
so it's a giant TV, and I have a art studio in front of it with the tablet and
Mhm.
everything. So it's like getting that all to work together on a movable.
Yeah.
It had to be a whole nother
Yeah, you'd probably
computer
do
or something, and it's just not worth it. So
But
what
yeah,
I
it
do is
definitely is
I try to
easier.
cycle like every 20 minutes or so, or if I'm on every hour, like getting on switching my seat to an exercise ball, so at least I'm engaging my abs. But it still feels like not enough. It's like I gotta get out of the house and like
Mhm.
walk and
Standing for like there's only if I have to like go longer than 4 or 5 hours, because standing I have like, you know, a cushion pad to stand on and stuff, but the easiest thing about standing and working is it's easy to move away and like move around, and you don't stay as
yeah,
static, because you know you don't have to do that motion of getting up,
right.
and it just encourages like, oh, I'm always engaged with like, oh, I'm here, and then there's just no way I could sit and work. I sometimes do sit like I'll stand for most of it, but then eventually my feet will start hurting because I've been standing for way too long.
It can be like, especially like when I work on art, I can't imagine like standing and drawing for long periods.
I've seen people do it though. Like it's just one of those things that you get used to, and then you can't undo it. You know, like it just set.
I guess you could.
It's
but
just more like once your feet start hurting, you just sit down then. So
yeah, I guess building a desktop to do that would be.
I mean,
kinda
the one we have
problem.
for here, we got it because like during MK3, like I had to stand, and I was like stacking boxes up to raise everything up, and then when someone came over that was gonna, you know, like Sam, to work on some of his parts, we would have to undo that, and we're like, well, let's just invest in a table that goes up and down, and
Yeah.
it's pretty good. It's pretty
But
good investment.
to be honest, like even though we got it, I think we kind of just got used to working standing up on it.
I mean, it goes up and down all the time.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't when I'm mixing stuff for recording anything. I mean, obviously I'm standing. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
it's just,
but you know, imagine working on, you know, when we're doing like Quintessentials, the most recent one we worked on. Like when I'm there like all day, like half the day I'll stand, and then the other half I'll sit, because I just
yeah.
unless I'm calling it a day like at 4 or something. Like if I'm working till 8, then eventually my legs are just going to give out because I've been standing there. So I just have to, I'll sit after enough hours. But for the most part, yeah, it is up. And then of course I put it down to make the cable stretch over here.
But, I mean, standing desks are like a great. I would hope that most offices use them. It's because when we had a job. You sit a lot. You sit a lot no matter what you do. If you're in a office workspace, you're just in front of a computer for most of your day.
It's a life-changing thing if you do it.
Yeah, I mean
But everyone should do it.
It's ridiculous how easy it is to engage your body to either lose weight or just be healthier. Like standing is like an easy way.
I mean, I can't imagine like if I was sitting. I mean, I don't. Maybe it would be fine because we hike, but. Well, I can't. Luckily, I have if I sit for too long, like it hurts my back after a while. So I'll sit for movies, plane rides,
car rides,
virtual reality, Elite Dangerous, car
when
rides.
You have to take a car trip.
Yeah, and it's not like, and if I was smart, I would have bought a car that had, taller seats. But I have a sports car, so I'm like, okay, well, that hurts. But for the most part, it's good. It's a nice. Because I've seen people do it for not medical reasons, but for me it's because it's more comfortable. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure it's helping my legs and stuff too.
Yeah, everyone has a different thing. Some people couldn't stand all day. But
I don't think anyone could. I can't even. And I've been doing it for years. Like, eventually your feet are just tired from even if you are walking around. Like, imagine anyone who does work on their feet, like at a cash register or something. Like,
yeah, you're already.
Yeah, so that it's similar to that, except. If you have the ability to walk away from the cash register. I don't know. But I mean, it's great too. Also, if you're doing recording the guitar, like I can't sit and play guitar. I mean, I can. It sucks though. Like, we did it here, but yeah, I'd much rather stand and do it.
It's harder to sing though.
Sitting just. I don't know. The more I do it, the less natural. I'm like, this isn't natural.
No, it's not. I mean, like my posture specialist, back when I had a bunch of problems, was like, no, where do you sit like this in nature? Okay, sure, yeah, sometimes.
Squatting's the only thing, that's
the
like
way we sit in chairs is not. Our body is not meant to sit the way we are right now.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't have as much extensive back troubles as David did, but for me, like sitting in front of a computer, like I have to get up. Like I can't sit for more than an hour. Yeah. I'm dead if I do that. Like the pain is like, so like I'm constantly walking away, leaving my computer and trying to find chores or do something else because it just gets uncomfortable.
I start to feel it in the back of my legs, the back of my knees, the sciatic nerve thing.
Yeah, which is really bad when you're like have a game that you really like and you're sitting down and you're like. What
I got going in my bedroom is I have the TV and it's on wheels, so I can like push it close to my bed.
That's nice.
And but also the bed. Like if I do the thing, it'll like if this is the bed. No one can see this other than the Engineer-eteers, but the feet will go up like a little bit like that, and then this will go up just a little bit, and that like because I used to just raise it up like that.
So you're kind of like sitting in a hammock. It's like your butt is lower than your head and your legs.
I wouldn't say hammock's the most ergonomical or whatever, but it's lifting your legs up just even a slightly like. It allows, like, if I have to play a game for 4 hours or something, which I usually don't, but it's like makes it makes it that much easier because like just having your.
I mean, it's better than blood flow too than just sitting straight like an L.
Yeah, because I usually just have the back go elevated. Up and then I'm
when I watch like I don't play a lot of video games in my room, but I watch movies and or TV or whatever. So. I put a TV in my bedroom because I don't want to sit and watch something. I hate sitting and watching something because it's every once in a while I will get like a bowl of popcorn or something with a boyfriend and we'll sit and watch like a movie, but like the TV in the bedroom is just great because it's like standing is great, but also just laying on your back feels so much better than sitting.
And so it's finding the in between. Like that's why recliners are a thing. So that's how I feel that my bed turns into basically like a recliner.
I have to figure out some way because like my room's setup is my TV is across from my bed, but my bed isn't like facing the TV. I have to like lay on my side to watch TV, and I've had like really bad neck pain the last few weeks, and I think it's because I've got really bad posture when I'm laying in bed and I'm watching my TV. I gotta figure out a way
put
of
that bed with
rotating
the TV at the foot of your bed.
Yeah.
It's the only way.
I do.
I used to
can't
have
really,
mine.
My room's not big enough for that. My bedroom.
Before I went and invested in one of those, things that can make the bed go up, and I had my bed like turned so the long part was facing the TV, and I would just lay and look at that way.
Hurts.
But then I got like a wedge, like a pillow wedge, and then I could kind of have my feet kind of dangle off the edge, and then I could use that, and that worked pretty well.
I have like those half fluffy chair things.
Oh yeah.
Those are great, just to elevate your back a little bit and just kind of sit. But yeah, I don't know.
But if anyone's in this predicament, I mean, because that was back when, when there was no income and weren't making too many albums and sales were meh. But take it from me, who has it, it's the best. Get that bed.
Yeah.
Put that TV at the bottom of it. Because I initially did it because of back problems. Like, there's no way I'm gonna sit. And I don't even have a living room, so it wouldn't even matter anyways. I need my TV in my bedroom.
Yeah.
But I also have I have a standing station in my my bedroom as well. That's where my computer for editing videos or doing social stuff. And of course, this is the recording computer.
You've got kind of a. You don't really play a lot of PC games that don't use controller support because of that. Right?
I have some. I have like a Orb Weaver from Razer, which is like a little keypad thing that I can actually use. But I don't even like it. Like, I don't like using a mouse in that anymore because I switched to controller for back problems.
It's comfortable.
But I do have wireless. I have like a Razer Turret, which is like it's like a keyboard that has a mouse pad attached onto it, and it's magnetized. And that works okay for like, but it's just so much easier to use a controller. And I have a Steam controller too for those games that don't support controllers. But I really don't play anything that's like first-person shooter with a mouse anymore.
I use a lot of, most of the games I play don't have controller support. There's some of them, but sometimes you just want that accuracy with shooting.
No, I miss
games.
that a little bit, obviously, but
it's just nice to this feels natural, like just because you can be anywhere.
Or if you're with a Switch.
Yeah.
Like, no, I actually have the Pro controller too. So for the games I don't play any. I've probably played less than 2 hours of the Switch.
Zelda's pretty good.
I don't have enough time.
But yeah, I played a little bit of it. It's not bad.
It's actually a great hidden multiplayer game. If you break up the controllers, you give one person the other one person, and then one person controls. It works.
Wait, on Zelda?
Yeah.
But wait, there's only one character.
Yeah, but you give one part of the controller to one person.
That would be really hard.
No, it's not hard. It's just it's multiplayer. It totally works.
What is one person controlling, the camera, or
one person is controlling the movement and switching weapons, and one person is controlling the aim and the attack button.
I guess the way it's laid out,
it works. The only hard part that I found was that when you're switching weapons and stuff, you have to communicate, like, because one person can flip the pages and one person can go in the menu, but one person has to like navigate up and down, and then the other person has to confirm. So you have to kind of get on that way. But but other than that menu system, like when you're trying to like, oh, we're gonna cook something, okay, like okay, go up to that, like okay, now press, you have to communicate. But as far as like moving around the world, it totally works. Hidden multiplayer game, because the controller split up is in two. I'm not people have been doing this on like YouTube. You see,
that's cool.
Like playthroughs and haha, so funny. But it's a legitimate way to play a video game.
It's not bad.
So
I would imagine like if they ever made like a Pacific Rim type game, they should do something like that, right? Where one's controlling movement, one's controlling the weapons.
That'd be fun. Well, I like the game, the idea. I mean, it's like co-op, but for like. It's like a weird version of co-op. You're like controlling it. It would feel that way, right?
I love couch co-op. It's great. On jobs, like we kind of have a weird job that part of our job is actually pretty active, like, but it usually lasts for like an hour and a half on stage.
Yeah, I
mean we do rehearse and stuff, and there's physicality and stuff, and
but we're not performing Steam Powered Giraffe every week or anything.
Yeah, like the zoo, 74 days for those 2 years,
and we weren't able to do anything while like we couldn't make an album with those kind of work hours. No. we had to wait till after the zoo is done to do anything.
We didn't perform that much. Like we performed every day wasn't like a huge performance. I mean, we did.
It was 20-minute shows.
We exerted a lot of energy
yeah.
on stage, but mostly it was like we were just walking around all the time and between the shows. So it's like it was nice, but we don't have that anymore. Like we have to.
But once again, like what we couldn't do anything. Like back then, we couldn't run our. We were doing merchandise stuff, but it wasn't as much because that was.
I remember waking up and like we would switch off and on, you and me.
Yeah.
Like I'll do it this and you do it next time, and it was just kind of like.
I mean, we eventually hired quote unquote people to do it, you know. But it was
rough. I remember like as much as I love like doing the show so often and stuff. I remember also going kind of mad, like madness was seeping into me.
Yeah.
It was just like every day, and I just wanted a break. I just was like, I can't do this anymore. I get so much makeup on my face, and like
you definitely had to find a zen place, and not every day was great. Like you still have the rest of the world goes on, even though you're stuck in there for 2.5 months, and it feels like forever because it's 7 days a week.
I remember like waking up super early just to do stuff, like going to see movies and stuff. And it was like,
yeah, I remember that.
and then you'd have to go to work at 4, and you're like, you had a full day already, and you're like, okay. I mean, it's really fun.
Literally, you had to sleep in, otherwise, I don't know, not too much, but enough that you. I don't know.
When did your days start at the zoo?
Well, they start
at 4, I think.
But we had to get there.
Oh,
around,
you're right.
We had to get there around
2 or 3, right?
Because they wanted us to put our makeup on there,
which we did.
We did for the 2 years that we did.
Which was stupid because I think they weren't going to enforce that. We could easily.
Well, yeah. Well, we did the last week the last day or two. It was insurance for them to make sure that we were going to show up because we had. Yeah. We were there.
I mean, if we had showed up with our makeup, we still would have had to arrive and sit around for like 2 hours. So that would have been. Yeah. It was just.
But we didn't the last day, did we?
There was something about that last day. I can't remember why, but I think we just wanted to try it. Like, what are they going to do? Fire
us on the last day? No, and then they didn't even notice because it's not like they're. But see, we weren't. It's not like we were bad employees or anything. We were just like, well, like wait, why couldn't we just show up? Because we still had to set up the stage, like so that should have been enough time. But usually we would get there around noon or 1, and Steve and Sam would set up because anyone who wasn't in makeup would start setting up, and then everyone in makeup would go and do makeup and.
Yeah, the biggest thing I missed from that is just the physicality that we got.
Oh yeah, it was the most in shape.
Nice.
It's the most in shape I've ever been. Like I had like a six-pack and everything.
I mean,
all we were doing is singing and like taking walks during the zoo. But to be fair, I was more in shape the first year because Sam was. Me and him would like in between we would walk to the back of the zoo in front.
I remember feeling like less in shape for the second year, even though that's what most people remember is that second year.
Yeah, the second year. No one remembers the first one, but I remember then Sam in the second year he wanted to draw more, and so in between I wouldn't have anyone to walk, so I wouldn't walk, and I felt we didn't walk as much the second year, but yeah, I don't know. It was fun. The money was good at the time, and it wouldn't be worth it now.
But it was a great opportunity, and that's how a lot of people learn about us.
Yeah, I mean...
74 days, you just start building up, like, so many people see you.
Because there's enough people taking video, like 10,000 people comes to 10,000 people a day during the peak days of the summer, which is pretty much those 2.5 months. There were some days that were less, but for the majority, that's how many people were there during the summer. Yeah. And I've never seen the zoo as crowded as it is during the summer.
But there was a lot of... It was stressful too. There was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that wasn't too fun. There was, but I mean,
it definitely tested our mettle. Like, okay, who's ready to do? I mean, you can't get any worse than that. Like, as far as like commitment stuff, and so it kind of just showed, like, okay, who's game to do this? And I think we all did it. I think we didn't really have too many problems with that. Like. Or maybe there was a few times when it was like, okay, we're a little scared for this person, but for the majority of it, it was like, okay, we showed up, we did our thing. We never gave anyone a reason not to like hiring us.
we knew it was only we didn't know we would be invited back for the year 2, but they just duplicated their whole, what they did for the first summer. They just said, let's just have it back. But it's just our act. I mean, the acrobats, they do amazing things. Like they work every day, and they're super, super physical. But it's such a different entity than what we are. It's so weird that we even got that opportunity. Yeah. Because quite honestly, our act just does not work in that setting.
It doesn't.
We made it work, and
we had fans that would show up that, I mean, I remember with the 2 years there, like there were times when, there weren't many people at the zoo at the night, and our last show was always the biggest. because it's like the last thing and people.
Yeah, before people go home.
And there were some times when it was like, oh wow, there's so many people out there. But then there were majority of the times there just wasn't anyone there.
Yeah, I mean,
there's 10,000 people, but the idea that you can get the majority of the people at the closing of the park all in one space, that only happened like a few times.
Because the stage is close to the front of
Yeah.
the entrance. It's because you're getting everyone coming out of the
But
park.
yeah, but even then,
it
that
was
only
like you
happened a few
usually wait
times.
for like weekends, like Saturdays and Sundays are like the best.
Yeah, like in
everyone's
there.
there.
Because during the weekdays it could almost be empty at night, and you're like, hey, here we go.
It was pretty long. And then you have to do a meet and greet afterwards, which
Yeah, it was like a
Jeez.
parade kind of thing.
yeah, I mean, and it was fine, but sometimes you get a lot of repeat people, and it just it's like it was hard to like keep what's the word, like keep conversations going with people who have seen you for 74 days in a row. And there was
Right.
people that saw us every single day.
Oh,
my
yeah.
Because they didn't have anything to do in the summer
Yeah.
because they were kids or whatever. And it's
Yeah.
like I just remember feeling like how many people did I rub the wrong way because you run out of niceties, and then you're there to work, and especially at the end you're giving your time out for free until the clock strikes a certain time. You're owned by the zoo, and you have to stand there and take
Yeah.
whatever is being dished out at you.
And I mean, we got the worst. I mean, you get the worst thing. I mean, it's stupid complaining because anyone who's done any kind of performance
Yeah,
has dealt with it.
but so-
you know,
somebody-
people handing them your babies, and you're like, nope, can't do that because our insurance won't
Right.
cover
I
it.
should say, like, generally,
God.
out of the 74 days or 2 years, we didn't have a lot of bad incidents or anything, but just that amount of days, you're going to get
Yeah.
some...
You're gonna get some memorable stuff.
Yeah.
Like what was theirs? We had like a fan. What's this dish? It's anonymity. Anonymity.
Anonymity.
Anonymity.
Yeah, there you go.
Anonymity.
Anamorphs.
Yeah, and
It's been
like
enough years.
there was like a kid who like kicked
Yeah, I remember
kicked
that
rabbit in the
story.
shins,
Oh, yeah.
and their parent wouldn't do anything about it. I think we've probably talked about that on the podcast
Yeah.
before.
Oh, yeah. I remember being, like, just steaming. Like, I was like, I can't... Like, this is not worth it.
And it wasn't like once. It was like consistent enough that we had to say something to the parent, like, hey,
Right.
we're here like every week. You gotta cut us some slack. And I don't think they stopped. Did the kids stop? Not really.
No. No, I remember it being on the last day.
What a horrible parent, though.
And it was
Why
still
would you let your
happening.
kid do that?
I don't know.
Like
but
once,
we
like,
all-
oh, I'm
I
so
remember,
sorry, I didn't see them.
But I
just
can't... It's not like
letting
you can do
them
anything. It's like I
that?
wasn't going to, like, try to stop the kid because...
Well, where you can't
Because
yeah.
I'm too afraid that anything could go wrong.
But
It's
even-
like
yeah, even-
you're not
even-
supposed to touch anyone.
Even I mean, we've
Yeah.
never had that issue in there, but it's just because we were there so much, and this mom was bringing her kid. And
You know-
I mean, they
you know,
liked
actually-
the band, they liked watching the stuff, but at the end, during the meet and greet, it was like they would just stand there and we would have a line of people, and it was just like he would just kick around.
Yeah, like it because the fans linger. There wasn't. I think it's kind of fuzzy, but I think we had some security maybe towards the end of the year too.
yeah.
Because we complained. We were like,
complained,
we
yeah.
just need. And so I think maybe it died down there, or at least like the security officer saw the kid kicking and would ask the kid to.
Yeah, but before it was like fair game, like anyone, and people would get back in line, and we're like, you realize we have to stay here as long as you are there, right? And after a while, it's like, yeah, okay, give us our hour or so after of taking pictures with people and stuff.
I think
That's
after
cool,
after a
but-
while we were able to convince that we at a set time we have to go.
Yeah.
They said that was fine because
So
they
you-
wanted to get us out of
So
there.
you didn't have to
anyways.
just stand there for the repeats.
Yeah, but we usually did just.
Oh, yeah,
we usually got through the whole line, but if in case there was like repeats
Yeah.
and they were just kind of like,
milling about.
yeah,
Well,
like
I remember the last there was a few days where like the fandom like would come and there was like a lot of people and we would get through everyone and I think the last 2 days of the first year and the second year we were out there for a good 4 hours.
Yeah.
But it was the last day of the zoo and everyone treated it like oh, this is the last time they're gonna be here. The first year and I think the first year actually, the last day it rained and
Yeah.
But yeah, for that second year, we were out there forever, and like they had like a ice cream party, like all the performers from that year, and then
Yeah.
and we didn't get
By
to
the time
be
we
a part
got
of
there,
it.
I remember getting in there and it was just like soup. That was their ice cream was just.
and everyone was making us feel bad about not joining them, and we were like, okay, I'm sorry you don't have a giant fandom that wanted, and it wasn't giant fandom, but I mean,
Yeah.
we go to a show and we spend a good 2 hours doing autographs. Just imagine 10,000 people, and they know it's your, you know what I mean? We built
Yeah.
up.
I mean,
something,
I
you know?
think the zoo is really great because it kind of. I mean, we were doing conventions before then, but it was very sporadic. Maybe once or twice a year. It was such a big deal when we actually did a convention. We loved it, but the zoo really kind of taught us like it kind of showed us what our fans want, and I don't know if it's just how especially now it's like it feels like everything since the zoo. It's like it's more about creating an experience for the fans. The show almost doesn't matter.
Right.
Almost. I mean, maybe that's a bold statement, but it's that in the age that we live in, with the interconnectivity with like celebrities or people, you know, that are in bands and stuff, people want to make a connection. So it's like offering them the opportunity with photo ops or panels or
Make it
yeah,
interactive.
I mean,
or signing stuff. It's like that seems like at a minimum we could do that at a convention.
yeah, no,
you
Steam.
know?
I
Yeah.
mean, Steam. The fandom, they would take meeting us over seeing a concert. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And there's
mean,
nothing wrong with that.
That's
It's just that
that's just our 9 years of seeing conventions and stuff. It's like, of course, people go to the concert and they want to see that, but you know, they
but
really.
that's why we try to like the VIP experience at our local shows when we can do it. It's like
yeah.
we're trying to get that personal connection because that is important to people. They
Yeah.
want to see the real people.
And plus, you know, we see it consistently with new fans as well. Like I mean, it seems stupid to say, but it's like you see the what's the word? The rerecurring themes,
Right, yeah,
Like
over
every
the
time
years.
any of
Yeah,
the,
well, because there's always new fans.
and they all
going
and they
through
and
that
they all
phase.
and they all, you know, some people appreciate stuff from a distance and they don't really want to meet you, and
Yeah.
they just like the act.
But-
But there's some that actually want to, you know, like, oh, this is really.
I mean, this is you guys watching right now, the Engineer-eteers live. Like, you guys are part of that because you influenced over the years that you want content like this.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that's why we do this podcast, or that's why we do these live events and stuff, is because our interactions with you, even in this capacity, is I don't know. Honestly, like I like it too. Like my
Yeah.
favorite.
Mhm.
I listen to some podcasts where with my favorite artists, or follow the Twitters of
But I never want to be
like.
I never want to be in the limelight. Like I see some podcasts and like, you know, that interact with their fans. Harmontown's one because they kind of do a
Oh,
similar
yeah.
stage show kind of podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But and I'm always like, get off the stage. Like, what are you doing? Like
Yeah.
no one watching this or listening wants you on that stage with the podcast hosts.
Yeah,
Like,
Harmontown has.
I get it when they call people up and stuff, but I don't like the people who like
Oh.
force themselves, because I'd never do that. I would.
Well,
I don't
watching
want
it last
attention.
night, it was very
Drama.
apparent that one of these people is like infamous, even with the other fans.
Oh yeah, I mean, even I know that. Like once you start listening to a podcast,
Yeah.
and you're like, you just kind of.
Somehow always manages.
I mean,
to
it's
get
fun.
on
It's fun. It's
stage.
fun to be part of a community, but I feel like I'm not a part of this community. Like I just enjoy.
I'm
listening
sure,
to
like people say
podcasts.
that people feel the same about us. They're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I stay away from the fan community, but I'm still a fan of Steam Powered Giraffe.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's the kind of person I am with a fan. Like I go to boards and stuff, and I look at it, and I'm like, I don't agree with anything they're saying on here. Like,
you gotta stay.
like
out
I
of
go
it.
and I'm like, they are so like anything that I like.
Right.
They're really what's the word? They're critical of things that are just like no one in the history of marketing would ever care about. You know?
I watch some YouTubers like who are big names, and they like, you know, they stream certain games, and they're known for that, and like just the critiques that people write on them. I'm like, wow, this is like, why can't this guy have an opinion on a stupid video game?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why can't, like he's
I get
he's
that.
dedicated almost his entire life to this game. Can he just have an opinion that can be different than yours? Like, I don't know.
But
just
it's
kinda
so
weird.
easy. I mean, it makes it throwaway comments that makes everything.
You know what's
more important.
what's great is
than
that
it
the fan, we didn't build the fan community. We nurtured it, but with like things like the Cavalcadium and stuff. But really, like, it just kind of takes its own. It
Yeah.
developed on its own, like
and it changes all the time because
Yeah.
people
They
come and
always
go.
do.
And,
They
whatnot.
just they grow organically. for
I mean,
the
when we
most part.
started, we had like an official like local San Diego club, but that was like a fan club, or I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it broke when John left. That club organizer didn't agree with
but
that.
it
so
was
they just kind of
it was during the time when we had Balboa Park shows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it made sense because we were doing these San Diego shows like all the time. They were just 20-minute performances in Balboa Park like for the weekend, and that's where it kind of started.
People would get together. They would bring picnics.
Yeah,
and
and it was fun, but
yeah, and they would. Yeah, it was. I mean, it wasn't that many people.
It
but
was,
it was still
it was,
really
you know,
cool to have like people showing up
yeah, it was
every
like
weekend when you did.
and there were families who did it and stuff, and you see it kind of what people do in conventions, except it was like free because Balboa Park's free, and we didn't charge.
yeah,
Obviously,
I mean,
it's
they'd
just donation.
donate some money and stuff.
Yeah,
which is
and we'd
cool.
walk away at the end of a weekend with $19 each, and
I mean,
no, literally.
But sometimes, but it was nice. But that's the thing, like the feeling of getting paid for doing something that you
Yeah,
love
yeah.
is great. It felt like the world to us. Just to be
but
able
back
to,
then we weren't trying to make a living of it.
No.
and eventually it started moving towards that, and then it was like, of course, once you start doing content, you're like, oh, if people pay for it. I mean, that's not how the mindset going in, but on hindsight, it's like if you make something worth something and people have to pay to see it, they will. But if you don't, then they won't.
Right.
Most people won't, because I mean that's just how it is. And so that, I mean, not that we took away the stuff, but we just started turning it into more of a stage act. And
I kind of remember just a little bit like that. Some fans were not happy with the live shows.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, this is back when Mike was in the band, and these were very what's the word, like raw shows. Like they didn't have a lot of the cool stuff that we have now.
Yeah, you mean they were like fans of the Balboa Park stuff?
Yeah.
They didn't like it turning into a
They
concert?
didn't like it plugged in. They didn't like keyboards. They didn't like drums. They
wanted the acoustic stuff that we did in the park, and we're like, well, I mean, it's technically, especially back then, and when we first started out, there wasn't too many like gizmos that we were throwing at the audience every once in a while.
And we couldn't.
But
I mean, technically, Balboa Park, you're not supposed to have any amplification whatsoever.
Yeah,
but you can't just do acoustic stuff forever.
Even at the live
becomes
shows,
stagnant.
right?
Yeah.
Even at the live shows, they were pretty acoustic heavy. I mean, we started doing things like electricity and stuff, but
I mean that's why we started. We had songs that we put on albums and stuff, and we needed someone to play. So we got backing musicians.
Even though the complaining was minimal because we didn't have that many fans, it was still like it's interesting that it never changes.
It's
always
the same.
People are now saying that MK3 was like our best. It's like, and when MK3 came out, they were saying 2 Cent Show was the best. And like,
but
when album 1 came out, they were complaining like Balboa Park was the best.
That's what I remember. I was like, but I saw something. There was a webcomic that literally does that, and it's like I think artists just see that at the and they roll their eyes, and but it works for people who do video games as well, and like it always kind of is like
it's always
once you have a precedent, and it doesn't matter. I mean, because you have a product even when you're not trying to make a product,
right?
And that's the problem, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I remember people. But there were some people that never wanted to pay for it, and they were like, "This is it," and they're like, they're $5 for showing up for the weekend was. And I'm not going to say that we were worth more than $5, but it was kind of like,
I remember some people
pay.
being like, "I'm not going to follow anymore. Like, I can't afford these outrageous ticket prices," which at the time were like $10.
Yeah,
Oh my
I mean,
God.
and we were doing them like it was just we did it at Queen Bee's in San Diego, and like their venue's small. I mean, it can hold around 200. Uncomfortably, but
back then, it was a step up.
Yeah, we would get like 100, 150 people. Like that was good. Some days Balboa Park, I remember those are the times when we knew we kind of had something when we would get like a group of, I don't know how many, you couldn't even, it was a few hundred people would surround our acoustic act, and we would be doing Captain and stuff to all these people. And those were the big days at Balboa Park, like Valentine's Day. I remember that one being a big one. And
it wasn't every weekend, but there was some notable. I mean, we switched though. I can't remember exactly I know our last Balboa Park show was like, I think it was like 2010 or 2011, right before the zoo, I think.
Yeah, we did one for the fan.
It was Christmas, I think.
No, wait. Are you talking about the one that the fan group, they literally reserved a bunch of space in Balboa Park? Remember? And it was like a cavalcade.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay, that was actually like that was kind of a going back to it after a while. But before that, our last one was on Christmas, I think.
And there wasn't anyone there really, right?
Well, there was some people that showed up,
but it was like, and one person like gave us. It was the most we ever made.
I remember because I wore that really big hat for like one show.
Did you start like advertising them ahead of time?
We did, but I think back then,
because you say you had a small fan following at Balboa Park. Are these people who like knew you were going to be there and would show up?
The Google Calendar that we have right now is the same Google Calendar that we would advertise like if you went back and you pressed the button all the way back to you could see that we advertised the Balboa Park shows. Like
we'd create little ads like come and see us and
I mean, but we were only
we would take song suggestions. I remember a couple times we'd be like, okay, here's what you guys want. Like,
well, our sets were easy. They were like some sets were literally 2 songs and just a bunch of bits. Like
it was a very condensed.
That's what makes me laugh when I see comments like these days saying
like every week
less
we
talking,
get
more singing.
because
I hear
week.
you talk about the the sets back in Balboa Park, and I'm like, that was even more talking.
Well,
than
wait.
you do
So
now.
here's the mentality. It's like I get the idea.
Right.
We get
they didn't start talking more.
I mean, we're not stupid. Like we know that yes, like if we were just a band and we had like 1 or 2 things to say in between, there'd be people that like, yes, this is what I want. Why are they're stupid? Why are they talking in between their stuff? And I'm like, it's not that we're like anti like wanting to get popular. It's just that like that's the act. We're not trying to be a band that says a quip in between and then on to the next song.
Yeah.
We kind of had to do that for the zoo, but we fought it as much
That's
as we
where
could.
it comes from. Because
mean,
a lot of your fans came from the zoo.
We've been trying to like rein it in, like probably more than we ever have, but I mean, people's attention spans aren't very great.
Oh,
and
no.
like
Especially online.
I think it's fine. Like we can tailor it in a little bit just to condense it. I mean, it's, to be perfectly honest, we don't talk as much. It's an easier show for us to get through.
Yeah,
like,
sure, yeah.
If we just did play music, it would be almost, it'd be way too easy. It would
For
be like
online
so
stuff,
easy.
it seems like what you kind of have to do because
But with the live show, it's different because you have an organic being, which is the audience, that you can play to. You can drag things out.
I mean, I'm sure
feel
there's
it.
people that would say that it's dragged out too long, but for those, at a minimum, we're doing an hour and a half for a live show, and there's not too many people in the audience that are like, when is it over? You know what I mean? Like, unless you're the band that's going on after us, which is usually never, because sometimes we're the head, or we've usually been the headliner, or it's just usually us. But every once in a while, you get a few bands like we're not the headliner.
We always try to sell our act not as a band because people.
Yeah.
We don't just go up there and play music. There's
It's
bits
a
and everything.
musical experience.
And we're not going
Right.
to say the quality of the bits. I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, it's we're not the only band that does it. It's just, I think maybe we have the biggest following that does. I don't really know. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen other acts that do it, but I don't know their audience numbers.
Right.
I don't know, like, they're not really doing the same. They're not doing the conventions that we're doing, and they're probably playing. I don't know.
Yeah,
shows
it's kind of
that are
interesting.
smaller, I guess.
When we
Yeah.
first started Balboa Park, and this was only like, it must have been like a month or something. We didn't have as many bits. I feel it was like more music, but I remember a photographer said, like, because we were just like palling around and joking during the photo shoot, and he was like, "You guys are really funny. Like, you should like throw that into the act, like your guys' banter between each other." And we were like, I like seeing like you guys as the characters interacting with each other. And we
Yeah.
started throwing it out, and I think that helped our popularity, because
I mean, that's the
because
only
it was
reason we have
more than
fans.
just playing. It was like, oh, they don't turn off after the song. Like, they're
Yeah.
still in character.
And I mean, because when we started, it was literally like our bit was, okay, we're gonna power up, and then we're gonna immediately start playing, and then stop. And maybe if there was a bit thing, it would be in the middle of a song or something.
Yeah.
And we didn't have too many. Our act was literally like, we didn't think past like 2 or 3 songs, so we just had to repeat after a while. But
Yeah.
but then once we started like throwing bits, and then we made more songs.
The act keeps evolving, so it's the new iteration. I really like what we did in January and February for those 2 shows, and obviously that's going to be like the
live
main
shows, yeah.
I think they're really fun for what we managed to do.
As far as like comparing it to, because I'm working on the what is it called, Concierto Privado.
Yeah.
And that's the last shows that we did with Sam. Those were filmed in the summer, and it's similar. I think the show we have now is a lot faster paced than those.
Yeah.
And
and it's a lot. It's just
but
like
you won't ever know because it wasn't filmed. Those weren't
Right.
filmed, right? But for the live streams, we almost have to do it faster because attention.
The live streams are different. I mean, we're basically butchering up our set to make it work for an online thing, and now we're starting to get an idea of what to actually do to make it work, because it doesn't work the same as with a live audience. It just doesn't.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
even if we had an audience there, like we would have to do it differently. Like there's no way. It seems like we peak. It's max concurrent viewers around an hour, right when the show's ending, which is good because if we go on longer, we're going to drop people off. But it's weird. But I don't know. It's too like, if you're making something for the fans, you might as well throw it up on the Engineer-eteers and let only Engineer-eteers see it, because that's your fandom and that's what they want. But when we throw it out for free for everyone, it's like we're getting a lot of feedback from people who are like,
who've never seen that side of us.
and it's not or us at all. Like, we got so many new people, and I mean, we got a lot of emails for hiring because of those live streams, and directly or indirectly, it was positive.
Yeah.
but yeah, it is a different beast, and
we're just gonna keep playing with it, and I'm sure we'll find what to do. But I think the idea is that it's gonna be different than the live shows, which I guess is good, because you don't have to feel like you're repeating if you've seen it. We don't want you to like. You've seen the live concert on YouTube, and that's what I'm going to get at live. I don't need to see them live.
yeah, but that's not the case at all.
It's got to be like different. That's
Yeah.
I mean, it already is, because we do an hour and a half worth of songs, and we didn't. There's a few as far as like January shows and stuff. There's a handful of stuff that we didn't do on the.
Oh yeah, there's
any
stuff
of
that we
these
can't
YouTube
really
streams.
do on a live stream.
Yeah, so I think as we go along, we'll probably find its bearings. But
Speaking of that, I mean, we have the Renaissance. That's in our next show, our next live show coming
we
up.
should talk about our upcoming shows.
The one in Irwindale. We probably talked about this last time. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, Irwindale. It's gonna be outside. It's still gonna be light out when we're performing. I think it starts at 6 p.m.
it's gonna be kind of a weird show.
Yeah, because we can't make use of projection, so we'll have a little bit of video on a TV or something, but we won't. We might have actually Steam effects though. We can make use of that outdoors, but we're not gonna have any lights or anything because it's still gonna be daylight, and there's not gonna be a curtain. It's gonna be It's
gonna be pretty simplistic.
Yeah,
we're trying to come up with something that, rather than just iterate the act as it is, on that we just know it has to be. We're kind of like I don't know. We're kind of like seeing what this is going to be like, and maybe taking some sort of essence from that, and then doing that on our next online thing.
But we usually don't do shows like this, like unless we can get in a theater or like a hotel space where we have control of lighting and stuff, because we know that adds a lot. Because otherwise we're just going back. We're never trying to advertise what we did during Balboa Park, because otherwise that's all people would hire us for.
That was an early problem we had.
Yeah, no one wanted to, because the minute you have to say, oh, we need a sound system, we need a stage, we need lights.
We still run into that problem occasionally
because they see the Balboa
not all the
Park
time,
videos.
But people who don't really know the act but are looking for entertainment in our genre.
Eventually, it just turns into
old YouTube videos and not understand, why we need so much equipment.
It turns into like, oh well, why? Your fans will come anyways. What does it matter? And then then it's like, well, we're just money to people then.
Yeah.
And I get it, but we've had people who've done both kind of shows with us, and they always go back to the one, because I mean, yeah, it'll be cheaper if they don't have to rent lights, or they don't have to rent a stage, or they don't have to rent any sound system and stuff, and then eventually it's like, what are we doing then? Like, are we just gonna go back to do Balboa Park stuff? Because it's not, we can't transplant the stuff that has all these technical cues into an acoustic performance.
Extra job positions opened up when you changed the nature of the act too. Like Welter Workers and Steve. Like, if you went back to doing something like you did in Balboa Park, we wouldn't really have a place in that show.
I mean,
it's just different now.
We'd have to rehearse 2 different shows too, which is
it would be stupid.
Which is what we're gonna have to do anyways. But this would be very different. Like you'd have to sing it differently. The harmonies are gonna be slightly different.
Yeah, and there's some songs that just wouldn't even work. I mean, acoustically, there's some songs we never played in Balboa, like Brass Goggles. I think we tried it once or twice, but for the most part, we never did it.
Well, it's not like we were opposed to doing like an acoustic thing. Like, we were talking about maybe doing like just some acoustic sets online, just for fun. But it's the thing. The more we do these, if we were gonna keep doing acoustic sets, then people would only want to hire us for those.
Yeah.
And that's just not what the act.
I know it sounds stupid. Like, why are you worried about that? That you can see the shows. I'm like, well, it's because we have all those videos of years of us doing Balboa Park. And the zoo, to an extent, is also like a really toned down version of what we're doing now. And I don't know. It's like, I mean, that's the biggest thing, is like, the minute everything costs extra money. Like, if you have to rent even the smallest thing, like, that's just extra stuff. And for local shows, we can bring everything we want.
To be fair, like, our requirements have gone down since we don't do our live backing musicians anymore, just because the cost wasn't working out.
No, I mean, there's no way. We get emails all the time like, "Oh, I want to be a drummer for you," and like, well, if you send us an email about wanting to be in the band, like, we're not looking for anyone, but like, saying you want to be in the band doesn't tell us anything about you. Like, if you're like, the only way anyone would take you seriously, and this is not just for us, like, you have a resume. You gotta or at least show what you're capable of. Not just because words are just words. Like, you're this person. Like, that's great.
Once again, like you said, we're not looking to hire someone. But I can't believe how many emails we get of people who sound super serious about, like, well, I think I could bring something to the table, and there's not even a full name to search for. There's like they don't give us anything.
Sure,
so I'm like,
you need like,
or even a link to a website.
Abilities, like, show us a video.
But once
are you
again,
expecting us to
we
take
also
it seriously?
We don't really know.
Even give us a name.
We don't even know how old most of these people are.
Exactly.
Some of them are most likely kids and stuff. And
I mean, but the act has changed so much, but it's actually gotten easier for us to tour now, and more cost effective.
Well, if we wanted to bring like a drummer and put him in robot makeup, like the main issue is like, okay, well, we could probably get a drum set at a convention because they usually have a drum set for their bands they use. That's just a standard thing. It wouldn't be hard to get. And of course, the drummer would complain all the time, like Matt did, like this drum set sucks. I'm like, what do you want us to do? Like, and he just makes use of it.
It's just
but that's one extra person we had to fly out. And
right, it's like what has to go? It's like, I mean, technically we could just do 3 of us and like just do 3 robots and just have like use whatever sound system they have available. And we did do that for a while, like, but it's not about like I don't know, quality of the instruments or anything. It's just that our setup is what it is. Like we tone back. We depending on the song, like there could be like hardly any instrumentation. Like there could be no need for a backing track, but we put it in there anyways because it just helps keep time or something. But we're playing like all acoustic instruments. It's like it's not that like our act has gotten so techno-y or the music style has changed so that it makes it impossible to go back to that. It's just that the setup, regardless of what kind of music we're playing, is more complicated now.
I'm sure we've talked about this a few times on the podcast, but
yeah,
it's not. But yeah, flying out people, like it's never one. And then of course it's like, oh, let's get rid of the Walter workers for merchandise. And the thing is like we're not the same. Like we're getting more and more fans, and that's just it's easy to see like on our financially.
To be honest, like the Walter workers kind of. I mean, it's not really true. They kind of came in at the same time, but and we've had a lot of people, portray them, but it came in. One of the biggest things was selling merchandise. Like if you have one, they can't do it. Like it's almost impossible.
Well, I did one show by myself. I think it was in between Carolina's last and Camille's first. That little Fresno show we did, and it was a nightmare.
I mean, and when we started, like we did it ourselves, and like I would be the one to do it all. And the main issue we had, like one of our first big conventions that we did was like World Steam Expo, and that was in Michigan.
Yeah, it was near Detroit.
And like it was a pretty big one for us. Like that's when I felt like that was between the first and second year of the zoo.
People loved us there, and it was great. But
we realized, and in comparison, like that crowd wasn't as big as like some of the ones we've dealt with now. But like that was it like just showed us like how are we supposed to sell and sign autographs?
Impossible.
Like at a minimum, if we took out the Walter workers, we'd still need to fly people out to do our merch. So why not make use of them in the show?
There's been a few conventions who were like, oh, we have people, we can have our staff do it. And I'm like,
who would really push for it?
And that would there's a staff that they could that they said, they can
do it for you.
Our staff can sell your merchandise for us. Just and like they don't. I don't think they don't get it. They don't get it until they see people come to our merch table. And
it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, especially after
like
shows.
We're not going to go at the speed of your staff. There's no way they're going to.
I mean, like sometimes like we'll end up with a third person helping us, which makes it even easier. Like even like we can do it. We can do it just fine with just the 2 of us. But even that is a super stressful job, and no one would be able to do it themselves, and you guys wouldn't be able to do it after playing the whole show.
I said, it's like the after stuff is almost important than the show itself.
I mean, I get it because
it's an experience that we're putting on for people, basically.
I mean, I've seen bands who have a following as dedicated as us, and they have it's a similar setup. They have they either have someone in the band who or a few people who are dedicated to doing that merchandise and getting people through the line, because most people are imagining, and I've seen big names that have performed alongside us, or we've opened for them, or whatever. And their table is like it's not as crazy.
We have a lot of products, and the thing about hiring someone, con staff to run the table is that Camille and I know all the prices in and out. We know how to package products so they don't break, like kazoos and stuff like that. We have prints now. We have so much stuff on the table, and we're super fast at organizing it all and laying it out on the table in a nice presentation.
But it's more than that.
It would take forever.
Not only speed, but we would lose some money just because something would get sold without getting. It just would happen because it's happened to us trying to do it when it was crazy, and it's just.
But there's no way that you're gonna. There's no way that that anyone could learn it fast enough. I mean, but once again, it's because there's how many people, and sometimes you only have an hour to get through the line,
and you have to have at least 2 people.
To be fair,
when I did it myself, I I felt like I couldn't have my eyes everywhere they needed to be, and you get afraid of people, taking stuff. And not that we think our fans are gonna do that, but it's you have to turn around, get stuff out of the.
Right. We have a nice system, and it's efficient.
Hard to do it yourself and feel like you've got eyes
Right.
everywhere they need to be.
I like the system we have now. It's still chaotic, but it's kind of a rush, and it's nice because we're making sales and we're meeting fans, and it's really important.
But I mean, and then the robots can focus on actually talking to the people, because before it was like, oh, you want this, you want this, and that a group of a few hundred people took us so many hours to get through. Because
to be fair,
you have to sell, you have to talk, you have to sign, and that's impossible.
Yeah,
if you can talk and sign, it's fine.
And we have like a lot of experience in that kind of hectic environment from previous jobs that like we feel like we're ace at it.
But once we added you guys to the show, then it.
Right, there's that too.
Then no one's questioning it. Like, this is in between. So
performers too. So then there's another reason.
Which is stupid. But to be fair, we didn't do that for just because of you guys. We did it.
Yeah.
We did it in the past. We had them in between. We're like, oh, they come on stage, and then of course people would say like, oh, you don't really need them for your act. We're not going to fly them out. And that's when we were like, well.
To be fair, like, there wasn't as many complaints about that as it was just like it was just kind of offensive when we did hear that. It's been very minimal, and honestly, from what I remember. There were conventions that pretty much just wanted us. They just wanted to mooch off our fans, which I mean, that's a little bit of every convention. They want we bring a following, but they didn't care about the act. They just wanted the numbers, so they didn't care about.
But that's the thing is, it's not like we have a ton of clout or something. It's not like we can demand something.
No, of course we've lost so many shows because sometimes it's impossible.
The minute we say, oh yeah, you're going to need to rent this soundboard, one of the soundboards in this series, and this connector for it. And then that's too much for them. Like, oh well, we have this thing, and we're like, no, because
that won't work.
Because we have IAMs and we need a dedicated. It's just. Yeah, once it gets too technical, that's where. But once again, we always like talk within the band, like what are the shows that are going to be worth it? Like, we'll do smaller stuff if they really want us, and if they say like, oh, we don't want to compromise your act, what can we do? We'll kind of work with it. But when it turns into, it's like, well, we know how many we know the minimum amount of people that are probably going to show up to a show.
It could be David and I coming out on stage, and I'm sure that's what a lot of cons or I don't know would want.
Well, they're like, oh, can we just get the? There's been people like, oh, can we just get the robots? Like, actually, you don't need to bring a sound system because we have our own, and lights. You don't need that. We don't need this. And we're like, oh, we're local. We're going to drive to your show. Like we're bringing this stuff regardless, because they're trying to shave off the price. And I don't know. I mean, it is what it is, but it's one of those things. Like if we started doing just every single show and trying to make it work no matter what, like looking at their budget and like, okay, this is what we can give you, it'd be stupid because we could do that same amount of work and make more money ourselves if we put on shows ourselves.
Yeah,
I mean that's where we kind of got to in our career, quote unquote.
We were obviously if the further out we go, or getting to places that we've never been, like I think the compromises we're a little more lenient.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
we
don't take there's shows that we don't do. Like I don't want to put that out there for people trying to hire us, but there's places we've gone to that like the contracts. It's like we're not making anything. We're making very little. But that's because
just getting out there is worth it enough to us. So
I mean, we're making money off of CDs and stuff too. But the way our stuff works, percentage wise, it's like we're the performance pay is important to us because we're selling CDs that are part of people already in the band.
In a nutshell, just we should get to some questions. But in a nutshell, we have a really good system, and it's just 3 years of doing it, and it's pretty efficient. And so if you want to hire Steam Powered Giraffe, just go to www.steampoweredgiraffe.com and check us out. We put on a good show. Just to reiterate that show in Irwindale, it's at the original Renaissance Pleasure Fair in Irwindale. It'll be Saturday, May 13th, I believe.
And it's during their RenCon weekend, which, there'll be more than just Renaissance stuff there.
It's like their cosplay weekend, which is really cool. They're having a steampunk weekend before that. We didn't get booked for the steampunk weekend because they felt like it was more encompassing if they
did the RenCon, which is fine with us because we're robots. We kind of fit in anywhere. I mean, the steampunk is just one flavor of the group,
right?
Yeah,
we have brass goggles. Well,
we
steampunk.
do more general media conventions these days than we do steampunk.
Well, I mean,
or
to be fair, I don't think the aesthetic of the band is really that steampunk.
It's never been 100% steampunk.
I think you just kind of drew a crowd in that niche because you're robots.
And we do
Well,
have
antique robots
Yeah.
too.
and the
from
folky
1800s,
music,
yeah.
the folky music.
Sure. Yeah.
It works, you know.
Yeah.
I guess I came on board later, like after 2 Cent Show and all that.
Yeah,
Where it's
MK3
like,
where we did a lot of our rocker.
it was a
rocking
little
pop
more of a
songs.
stretch for me to like, oh, they've got a lot of steampunk fans, because I didn't come into the act at a time when you were really steampunk.
I don't think we ever were.
No.
No, it's
I
we're
ju-
everything.
I think it's like if you hear Clockwork Vodka or you hear Brass Goggles, you're
Yeah.
like, steampunk. And then Honeybee kind of fits in there too.
yeah,
Yeah.
like look at I'll Rest With You or That'll Be the Way Home. It's like, okay, there's some diesel punk or you know, there's the whole thing of the act, and we said this many times before, is that the robots play different genres of music.
Yeah.
So our style is black and red usually, and then everything else is just configures to what we want in a certain song.
And also, steampunk's not a music genre, so
No.
it can be whatever. And I've never heard of.
well, style wise is
For me, like I imagine, what would I mean? If you had to, I'm sure if there's steampunks out there who are more dedicated than we are, obviously, because we don't build. We
yeah.
don't,
I mean, Abney Park is
steampunk.
your like your go-to like themed steampunk.
But if the music had to be steampunk, wouldn't it be like Victorian era stuff, like be Baroque or something?
well,
Something
we
weird?
have steampunk, we have futurism, Art Deco, we have so many things. We have cowboys and dinosaurs
Yeah.
and
So-
like aliens and.
But most of the other stuff, it's like this is just rock music or alternative or progressive, and that's what. And it's just the genre and it's the aesthetic is steampunk.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
That's what steampunk is, anyways.
well, can we take some?
But
Yeah,
to be
re-
fair, I feel our folky songs are closer to steampunk than say some of our rocking songs, and that goes for other bands that are in steampunk genre too. I feel like, you know, that whimsical kind of vaudeville kind of sound, and unfortunately, not all of our songs are that. We just have some of that, and then we
Yeah,
also have
sure.
everything because
Um,
can't cage us.
yeah.
You can't put us in a corner.
well, it's up to people's
No one puts
interpretation of what they think the genre is, and you know, what our interpretation is that we're just gonna do whatever we want, and like
Yeah.
we like so much different types of
Well,
music.
wait, because some bands are time travelers, which means that's how they appear in the conventions. But for our group, like as far as lore goes, the robots have just existed since 1896.
Well, that's the thing.
so-
Like, if your convention is themed and it's supposed to be like, oh, this is taking place in an alternate universe in the 1800s, then we're probably jumping back in time.
yeah.
Like, because there was some themed convention. I remember having to talk about that. Like you know, like we're gonna have things that don't exist back then, like clothing styles and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you want to write us into the lore, you know, you
and
have to,
some conventions are adamant about most. Obviously, the theme is very, you know,
yeah,
it
because
doesn't matter.
some
but-
people like want us to dress in steam. Well, it's not too many people, but like, oh, can you dress in like steampunk garb? And it's like, nope, we're just
no, because
No.
our band exists.
we're
in
not
the
buying
modern,
a bunch of
modern
stuff.
era.
Yeah, it's like all the costumes that we wear are supposed to be costumes.
Yeah, I mean, when you go see a show, the only thing you have to, I mean, we've talked about this a lot in the podcast because I feel like I've said this a lot, is when you go to the Steam Powered Giraffe show, like the only thing you have to suspend disbelief about is that we're robots.
Yeah.
Everything else is supposed to exist, and that's theater, you know. And that there's actually like a giant robot Bebop, and he's not just a video playing in the background.
But he is.
Or that.
Well, I mean,
G's
he's a
puppet.
video. He's
You
a
know
video.
what I mean.
He's supposed to be a video.
But you know, like he's actually a robot somewhere.
I think maybe real quick we should talk about the July show, because we haven't done a podcast since the
yeah.
tickets went on sale.
We have
I'm gonna go use
a
the-
Comic Con, a show. We have a
Okay.
we have a concert the week of San Diego Comic Con.
Yes.
On Thursday, July 20th.
And just
does that
so-
sound right?
Yes,
All
and
right,
just so
the
no
date-
one's confused, because I saw a few comments online, we're not actually performing at Comic-Con.
There's it's off-site entertainment,
off-site.
like most stuff at Comic Con. And yeah, it's going to be at the Escondido
This is
Performing
Escondido.
Arts Center,
So-
which is the same place we did
Yeah.
our show in February.
It's definitely out of the way of downtown San Diego. It's in Escondido, which is like northish.
About 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, not very far from downtown San Diego, but I definitely saw some people who were kind of like concerned about, oh, will I be able to get, you know,
Parking or
hotel
something.
parking? It's nowhere near the convention. You won't have to deal with the actual convention crowds.
There are some,
But
shows that actually
lot
take
of-
place downtown, but
Yeah.
basically you got to pick your poison. Which show you want to go to
Exactly.
on Thursday? Because pretty much everyone has
But,
their on Thursday,
yeah,
and it's the
but-
best day to do it during Comic Con.
And exactly, we know that San Diego Comic Con has become such this big thing that some people vacation here in San Diego that weekend, even though they don't have passes.
Yeah.
There's a lot to do and see during that week, so we wanted to do a show that Thursday
we haven't
night.
we haven't done one during Comic. It's been 2 years or so. 1 year.
Yeah,
we didn't do one last
did one
year, but
in
the year-
2014, my first summer
That was the last
with
one we did.
the band.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's more it's yeah it, it's a much what's the word not as many people come to those shows, but because there's so much competition. But we get lots of people from out of town for those shows, so that's what we're doing.
It's a really nice weekend to vacation in the San Diego area. Regardless, you don't even need a pass to enjoy Comic-Con weekend here.
Oh yeah, they have so much offsite entertainment now. Of course, ours is. I think the tickets are $25 and
25.
Yeah, $25 for general admission, and then of course we've our VIP for $80. And I think those are similar prices to our February show too.
Yeah.
And it'll be new. There'll be new songs.
Oh,
It'll be Comic-Con themed to as much as a Steam Powered Giraffe show can be Comic-Con themed. But
we'll have some new stuff.
Tickets are on sale for that if you're going to be in San Diego.
Check our website.
And if you've never been to Comic-Con, you can make a day out of you can make a whole weekend if you haven't got tickets.
Yeah.
But even if you don't have tickets, there's tons of stuff offsite. You do not need to go into the convention center to experience Comic-Con.
I haven't bought a ticket in a few years, and the last few years I've just been going on Sunday to kind of walk around the convention center and, hang out.
Is preview night is Wednesday, right?
Preview night is Wednesday.
So the best thing about having the shows on Thursdays, which if you look at the entertainment, a lot of the big shows are on Thursday for like other. I don't want to list any other names, so you don't know the competition. But but Steam Powered Giraffe is in there on Thursday. It's a good day to go because it's the night of the first day of the con, and almost everyone will still have energy after one day.
Yeah.
But no one's gonna have energy Friday night, Saturday night, or even Sunday.
Well, and Friday and Saturday, pretty much everyone stays downtown to party at the clubs.
Yeah. So I know it seems I've seen some comments that are like, oh, too bad it's not on Friday and Saturday. And like we know what the best day is.
No one would show up if it was Friday or Saturday because that's like Nerd HQ night and stuff.
It's not. It's exciting. It's probably one of the biggest risk shows we're gonna do this year. We haven't done a Comic-Con show in a while because
we just talked about this when you were in the bathroom. In 2014 was the last time.
Camille hasn't done one yet.
Yeah, they're just it's a risk. I mean, there's so much competition.
Well, yeah. So you should go to that one because if you don't like crowds, like it'll be good. It'll be good.
Yeah. We're excited.
So we'll keep advertising that as we'll have a proper poster soon too. So if any of you want to get excited.
I haven't started working on it, but I'm going to work on it.
But yeah, I think those are the next two shows. But wait, the week after Comic-Con, we're going to Anime Midwest, or is it the week before?
Anime Midwest is the week before.
Never mind.
Or actually, I believe there's a week in between. We've got Anime Midwest is July 8th through 10th.
Yeah.
July 8th through 10th, we're in Rosemont, Illinois, Chicago. Illinois.
Anime Midwest.
Yeah. We've got a week in between.
Wait, when? July 20th. Oh yeah, there's a week.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. If
so
you're in
go
the
to
Chicago
that. So
area.
Anime Midwest. See that month. You don't have to go to a Comic-Con show unless you want to. You can fly all the way from Chicago. But yeah, Anime Midwest will be great. That'll be Brian Barber's first big convention with us.
Yeah, we haven't had like a proper convention with Brian yet,
Yeah.
which is weird.
Well, we usually
we were
the last
really
few
busy
years,
last year.
The last few years we had the only convention we have in the early months are usually.
That's right.
We did Wild West Con in Tucson, Arizona.
Yeah, we didn't do it this year.
For the last 3 years. We did it for 4 years in a row, right?
Right. I think so.
Or maybe
we've been at all of them
I
except
did
for this
too.
most recent one.
Yeah, and they skipped a year after the first year, so we've been at all of them except for last year, but and that was the only convention that we had, and that one's like outdoors, kind of a festival kind of thing. And usually Anime Midwest is the first proper convention that we actually go to. I think
We've had like Minneapolis in the past.
Oh, Minneapolis.
We're not doing Steampunk World's Fair this
New
year.
Jersey.
That's
both
the
of
other
those
one,
were
yeah.
in May last year, so we just ended up really busy.
And we also had Texas last year, didn't we?
We did A-Con, yeah.
That was a really good
A-Con,
one, but
early June.
This year. Well, obviously we're not doing A-Con.
Well, they're a really big convention, and it's
Yeah.
not like we expected them to repeat entertainment.
right. They don't need us
Yeah.
at all. So it's
I mean, it doesn't matter that our concert. I would say sold out, but that no one else could get into our concert room. But you know what I mean. Like we did pretty well.
We would love to come back because it
was full.
Not
It was
being able
full
to go
up.
back to Texas in that area is like
we
is
have some tendrils out there, but the two conventions that we've done more recently have been that was A-Con and then
there was Corpus Christi in Texas,
Christi.
which
We did
was
that 2
actually
years
a really
in a row.
good convention.
Wow,
It was.
so long ago.
I don't think they. I don't know what are they still
We
doing
didn't-
it?
No, yeah, they're doing it.
Okay.
They had us for 2 years.
We
and
did 2 years, 2014 and 15.
It was a really good con.
Yeah.
Really good.
but conventions are always fun because it's
I enjoy
more
I
than
love
just committing to
conventions.
a concert. You get to have a whole weekend of fun.
Yeah, you get burned out after you're doing a lot of them,
Right.
but especially for the merch side of things,
And
it's
also
nice because
fans have so many opportunities to do more than just see a Steam Powered Giraffe
a
show.
one night show is so hectic for me and Camille. We really like those like more laid back days at conventions
Where
where
we
we
do
can kind of talk to
panels,
fans
Q&As.
and stuff.
I miss doing panels.
Yeah.
YomaCon seems so far away.
It was, yeah.
I mean, we're not sure on YomaCon, by the way, for the next one. It's
We'll let
always,
you know,
We'll let you
YomaCon.
know if I mean we're hopeful, but I mean they want us back, but we'll see how it pans
So
out.
yeah, YomaCon's usually our biggest convention of every year, other than Acon. Acon was the biggest one last year, but not much can compete with Acon. That's a huge, enormous one.
Yeah.
That
But
one was really
YomaCon,
fun.
I mean, YomaCon's been real good to us over the years, and yeah, we always cross our fingers and hope that we're on the lineup again
Right.
because it's been nice every time we've gone.
we did I know we did the sister convention to Acon, which is like a more general media convention. I think it's called. Is it called Midwest Media Expo?
Oh, that's the sister
Isn't that
convention to YomaCon.
What was I saying?
Oh, you said Acon.
Sorry, not Acon.
Yeah, YomaCon
Yeah.
runs that smaller one.
It's
in
a
the
smaller
spring.
one, and it's a really good convention. It's more general media. It takes place in the same
Yeah.
hotel. We did it for like 2 years, but I talked with the organizers, and they said they wanted to keep us exclusive to YomaCon now because it's such a draw for that convention. So
That's cool.
That one was
they don't
fun.
want us. They don't want to saturate it with
I have
having
good
us
memories
twice a year.
of the very first Midwest Media Expo they ever did. Number one was my first like trip out with you guys after Calico.
that's cool.
Gosh,
So yeah,
I just
That was
remember
a
it
good
was
one.
the birth of Saladgate and that whole ordeal. And
that's right.
but you know what? At Midwest Media, actually, like it was like the first one of the early years that I like had just come out as trans and stuff, and I met like so many transgender fans and artists at that convention. It was really great just hanging out with them and seeing what they do.
Yeah, good time.
Do we want to do questions now?
Yeah, I've got a few questions. Let's see.
Getting hungry. Where's that? Yeah, it's not anywhere close to munching.
All right, I'm just gonna start firing these off. Number one, is Brian working on a hero song for the next album, or will he?
No comment.
No comment.
How did you guys get endorsed by Hoffner of all brands?
Oh, Hoffner is a very, even though they're like legendary guitars and stuff, they're a pretty small German company. Like they've grown, they're popular. They've kind of, I don't know how to describe it without knowing more about them, but they live off their popularity, obviously, and their guitars are they're nice quality, obviously, and they have an iconic look. And they actually reached out to us after we had been using their Hoffner bass at one of their Hoffner basses at the zoo.
Yeah.
We started the second year, I think. That's when we brought their cheapest violin bass model, the $200 one, because at the zoo you want instruments that can break and you can have repaired because you don't want to use expensive stuff out there. It's in the sun, and it's just better to have.
Yeah,
cheap
they
stuff.
reached out and they wanted to endorse us, and they sent us.
And that's probably because they somehow they got turned on to us, and we started using their stuff in our music videos, and
they sent us a new bass that we can use, that we still use.
They have an email, and all they asked was that we put it on our website that we're endorsed by us, and that we take some pictures with their new bass when we had a chance, and even when Brian came on, they were like, "Oh, so you have a new member? Can we update your on our website with new photos of him with the bass?" And like, yeah, sure.
Huh.
So it's cool. They're a real nice company, and I think we're not like they have different sponsors, like
I mean, Paul McCartney played that. I mean, their guitar.
but we're not like the lead. We're not in their big sponsor list. We're like in a smaller section. I don't know what they call it.
It's really cool.
but-
I mean, it's a great. If you've never seen their bass before, it's pretty much what Paul McCartney used to play, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot cheaper than that, but yeah,
it's a really beautiful bass.
the one that we have is it's probably one that we maybe now we would buy from ourselves, but when we first got it, it was like, oh, this is way too expensive for us.
Right.
But it's actually not that expensive in the grand scheme of like how much instrument costs, because when you're playing like $200-$300 guitars. When we started out, it's like you can't imagine anything more than that. But
so it's interesting because Brian was learning bass and I was learning bass, so he was practicing on the cheap one. He was
Yeah.
he was keeping that at his house, and I'm learning bass for some songs. I've taken our old bass, which is what was a Memphis.
The Memphis, it's
from the 70s,
and it
it's
weighs
like
100 pounds. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
So I've been like doing that and like learning on the hard bass.
But I like the violin bass from Hoffner. For one thing, the difference between like the bass that you have there and the Hoffner ones, it's short scale, so the neck is a lot. Regular bass is pretty long. The short scales are everything's closer together. It feels more like playing a guitar.
It's kind of it's actually harder to play the Memphis one.
The Memphis, those kind of things. You also have round wound strings on that, and that has they have bumps on them, which is like a regular guitar strings, except for bass. But when you play on a violin bass, we did have round wound on there for a while because Sam was like, and they didn't want to play. But you're supposed to put flat wound, and one time I changed them out. And then I'm like, if you don't like it, we'll change it. But after like one or two shows, because that was back when Carolina was also came on stage to play, because she played bass, Ghost Might Go. And after that one show, they were like, we don't want to go back. It's so fun to play, and like
it's a nice bass. I'm glad I'm learning on the old one because it just feels like I'm building better strength.
Oh yeah, because once you get to the other one, it's like super easy to play.
Right.
And flat wound strings, the sound that I love the most is it sounds like a stand up bass to a degree. And it's like, I just like it. And flat wounds, the transitions from different frets, it's a great sound. Some people don't want that. But
thanks, Hoffner. We love your bass. We love your sound.
Hoffner brand guitars. They don't just make bass guitars. They're great company, and they're super nice. As far as companies, no one's ever been as nice as Hoffner has been to us.
No, never. Not in the history of all mankind.
No.
All right. I'm trying to think of my own answer to this one. What TV channel doesn't exist but really should?
Gosh, I mean,
I'm all against cable television, so it's all about. I like the apps now. I like being able to watch it on my time. I like to either pay monthly for something on Netflix or maybe on Hulu, or I like to just go and buy the season digitally to watch any show I want.
So I guess there's no like
TV channels
specialty
are the thing of the
content
past.
that I need a channel for.
Does anyone feel that way too?
I have kind of a yeah. I mean, I agree. I like how the system works with Netflix and Amazon and Hulu right now. But just kind of branching off from that, here's my answer would be, you know what, a service that is you can kind of get, but not really, is I want something like Rabbit or some of those VR movie theater things where you're in a room with other people, because I like watching like movies with like my boyfriend or friends, but getting together and watching them together is really fun. If you could do that on your app and then talk to each other while you're watching the movie, like that would be amazing.
Well, I think Xbox 360 had on Netflix. You could go in with your avatar and you could have voice chat with watching Netflix.
And I don't think they've.
But I don't think there's anyone done anything like that.
The VR stuff is really cool, but usually you can only watch trailers or YouTube videos.
I mean, you can do it now. Like if you go
Rabbit is kind of works, but it's kind of a.
If you go to if you're on a PS4, say for instance, like console, you could still. I think you could still, if you could sync up like watching something, and then you could have a voice chat. But it's kind of like you'd have to sync it up. And unfortunately, this whole screen share thing doesn't work with any video content. So
yeah, which is smart on their part, but.
But I think if Netflix just had an app, had something like that, I don't know.
Great.
They could, because they did it on Xbox 360. I don't know why they couldn't.
It's because Rabbit is getting popular because of that.
I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, it's called. Is it like RAB.BIT Rabbit? I think that's.
Oh.
But it's like you can share anything. You just share your screen and talk to each other about whatever you're watching.
I mean, it's still public use. It's not like you're streaming a movie to someone.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's a good.
The only other thing is to go only play public domain movies.
Like Netflix would be amazing. Like especially like Netflix and Hulu, they have the VR stuff. Was really cool. Like if you get a private little movie theater, if you could have your friends,
they don't have any
sitting next to you.
I don't know if there's anything. There's some stuff like that on Vive but it's all janky right now. There's nothing like officially supported really on the main headsets.
Amazon or Hulu or Netflix needs to get on it.
Yeah,
they need to.
Anyways,
all right.
That's just my 2 cents.
No. So basically, in short, TV channels are a thing of the past.
Looking at David's live streams, it looks like you practice at home. Do neighbors ever complain about the noise?
It's usually during the day and everyone's at work.
Yeah.
And no, I don't amplify, and an acoustic guitar doesn't make that much noise. I mean, I never play like after like 6 or something.
Yeah.
It's never been an issue, and usually with recording stuff too, you do it during the day. And if we have to do it at night, it's like it'll be an electric guitar and it'll be plugged in, and if there's no there's no amplifiers here. Singing it too, like it's not it doesn't ever make as much noise as you'd think it would be, because without amplification it's like just singing doesn't really make as much noise as you'd think.
I had an incident last week because I pulled out the melodica and on a whim, and I only played it for like a minute, and I got a doorbell ring, and it was a guy just delivering water, and he just happened to hear it, and he was like, I've heard that somewhere, and he was like, oh, it's a melodica, and he was like, oh my gosh, I that's what it is, and we had a conversation, and it was he was like, I'm in a band too, and like, that's awesome. So the only time that it's ever happened that someone commented on, like, it was a,
I thought
it was
you were
a
going
guy
to say
delivering
someone
water.
was like complaining.
No, I never gotten that.
I had a when we were in one of our old apartments when John, Bunny, and I would rehearse, like in the middle of the day, like we were we lived in an apartment where there was a lot more old folks, I suppose. Maybe not, and like we had the melodic. This was back during Balboa Park days too, and when we were playing, like, you know, we would get people not complaining, but they would say something to the manager, and the manager, the next time we would see them, would be like, it's like, oh, you know, you're making a lot of noise the other people can hear during the day, but they say, oh no, we don't want them to stop, like, just keep we just want to let you know that they're playing some good music over there, and like, no, they're not very loud, it's really nice if you want to listen in.
We had neighbors that look forward to us rehearsing because they like the music we were playing,
and we weren't very neighborly. Like, we didn't know them. I don't know any neighbors. I feel like that's like it's a pipe dream.
But that's
to
the thing, like,
with
apartment people are coming in and out of apartments.
I don't even know my neighbor.
I don't know any of my neighbors. I treat everyone like you're about to kill me, aren't you?
It makes more sense if you're out in the boonies, because then you know each other, and you rely on each other for emergencies.
Living in city suburbs, it's like no one knows
people
each
come
other
and go
anymore.
all the time, and other than like a few, I hate to say it, but more like elderly residents, those are the only people I consistently see, and they'll say hi to me, obviously, but it's because, you know, they're not moving over years, but like the people who on either side of me, like, or up above and stuff, like, or down below, it's like very. Like,
there's
everyone moves
a
all the
moving
time.
truck here every single day.
I'm the only one that stayed here.
It's the same thing in my complex. I always wish that I had like a bunch of characters like Anomaly or some movies like that.
Yeah.
Where it's like an
kind of
apartment
depressing.
complex,
it's like, boy, like, oh, is someone moving in? Are they going to be someone cool? Like, maybe we're going to jam together? Nope. You know what I mean? Like, the chances of meeting someone who it's depressing, isn't it real? Like, it's a little depressing. Even though I'm not very social, like, because you're always like, oh, if you don't get to know them. And I'm like, I think you pass judgment on someone. It's like, oh, they have a dog? Yeah, I'm not going to ever spend any time with them. Oh.
Someone here has a dachshund that wants to murder everyone it sees.
But what if that's my new best friend?
See that dog
you know what I mean? But just without the dog. Like,
oh man,
it's depressing though, because you think, like, there's so many people in the world. There's got to be more people like us that you would be able to interact with.
I like dogs. I don't.
Okay, well, whatever. I was being funny, but you know. But the idea that how would you even meet them? Like if you went up to someone, like, most people are just like, you know, it's kind of, you'll say hi, like, in passing, but no one wants you to take up most of their time. And unless there's something to really talk about, like, I see people coming and going from work, and that's what I see.
Yeah.
Or they're going out with their girlfriend or something. The only time that I had an interaction with a neighbor, other than like some old folks walking their dogs or something and saying hi, because, you know, they're usually generally don't have, I guess, much else to do, and talking to people is highlight of their day, and I guess it brightens my day a little bit, but most of the time I'm like, I gotta get back to work. But someone knocked on my door, and it was like a girlfriend of someone of my neighbors. It's probably moved out already.
Here?
Yeah, and she was like she must have been Russian or something, because she had a really heavy accent, could barely speak English. It was like, do you have a hair dryer? And I'm like, no, I'm bald. I don't have that. I'm like, oh yeah, my boyfriend as well. And I'm like, sorry, I don't know anyone else who's around during the day like this other than myself, so I just said, sorry.
That's an interesting story. Thanks for sharing.
Well, I really paint the picture.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's nice if you get some characters that you can interact with. I mean, I say hello to some of the people that are like consistently working out at the same time I am, but that's about it.
Don't you always wonder, like, is there a Steam Powered Giraffe fan living around here that just Because that would be the best thing is like, oh, they're a fan, but they don't let themselves be known.
It's
I'm not saying best thing, but it's like
I think
I
making-
think it might be kind of creepy.
no, it would be creepy, but that's why I'm saying it's the best.
For
it's the
whatever-
best thing. Like it would be like, oh, I don't know about it. That makes it great.
I kind of feel like, but I
Would
don't
you
know.
be worried about them like trying to pick your lock or something?
yeah, I guess.
I do kind of feel like, you know, like it's hard for me to make friends, and maybe you guys are similar. It's just like there's just whatever category of person I am. It's like it's just there's just not a lot of people that can like
Well,
just interact with me.
There's probably a few reasons for that too. For one, we're self-employed, so our schedules don't really sync up with a lot of people.
That's one.
Because
reason.
we'll work on the weekends sometimes, but usually weekends.
I'm also like a
Yeah.
really big nerd, and I play like video games.
So that's
and
another factor.
Watch
Is
movies
there-
all the time, and like
I'm pretty much a homebody, so I don't go out to clubs. I don't go to bars. I don't really go to restaurants.
Yeah.
It's very rare occurrences. Sometimes I go to movies, but even then I don't really do that. So I like. Is it being called a homebody where you like staying in?
Yeah.
if you enjoy your home
I
time,
have
yeah.
like 2 friends outside of Camille and you and like who I go out and do stuff with, and that's enough. Like I have
mean,
no yearning for more friends.
We
honestly.
go. I need to get
I'm
outside.
really introverted.
You know, hiking, but that's enough for me. Like, I'll go on a
Yeah.
long hike or a walk or something like that. But
You're
I'm
not
not
seeking
interested in
new
going to a place like
friendships.
let's go to the mall. Like
It'd be
that
nice.
sounds
I don't know.
terrible.
I could use like a friend who was into the same kind of stuff. I don't really
Yeah.
have. I have my
Well,
boyfriend.
that's the thing is
the
is
bands.
having friends who we're not. You're not in like a very committed relationship and stuff because it's less
Yeah.
it's
Right.
less not commitment.
I mean,
but yeah.
I know people online from my MMO days and all this
Yeah.
stuff. So it's like I talk to some people here and there, but it's a very casual relationship online.
But I mean, I feel like I don't. Maybe it's just because I haven't figured out what friends are and stuff. But like most of the people that I have, they fit into a very specific category in my life, and and most people I don't relate to hardly anything on.
Well, it's
Most of that's because the job, like most people are content with their whatever job they're in, and they're not looking to go anywhere with it. They're just wanting to make a living and make enough money to pursue their hobbies, which usually
Sure.
involve playing video games, watching movies, reading books, and that's about it.
It's interesting though. Like it's I feel like it's kind of a cliche thing that we kind of tend to have more friends, and we did back in college and high school.
Yeah.
We were still kind of introverts, but we still, we were finding ourselves, and we
Sure.
made a lot of friends. But as you get older, pretty much like it's hopefully. I mean, I think it's okay to say like, you get married, and that
Mhm.
person becomes your friend,
Yeah.
friend or whatever. Like you do everything about that person. Anything that's fun, you hang out with them and your family, and I think a lot of people just like that, and that's kind of just what you do. It's not everyone has like a zillion friends. Sometimes it's just
Sure.
that spouse.
Oh yeah, I mean, I get that. I'm more of that mentality. Like I said, I really only have like 2 friends outside of my sister, and hanging out with
Yeah.
you, and I'm content with that.
Some people,
Not everyone is, but
some people
I'm
kind of
just
mourn
like,
it.
Yeah, I'm like I've had bigger circles of friends in the past, and like they've dropped off as we go to college and stop dancing together and all that. And honestly, like it was tiring having more
Right.
friends.
But-
I'm good
yeah,
where
but-
I am.
But I get that too because I do have friends that I'll hang out with and stuff, but our interests don't overlap enough
Right.
that I feel like
Yeah.
I can't be myself all the time. Like I have to
Right.
set aside time for them because like, but it's not a bad thing.
Everyone,
but,
everyone as they get older shortens their tolerance. Not that they
Mhm.
hate people and stuff. It's just that you just don't want to. You
You
don't
don't
expel the
have-
energy anymore.
You
Yeah.
don't have as
Yeah.
much time anymore.
And you know what
to
you've-
dedicate to people who
Right.
you're not getting
And
anything
you've
out
learned what are valuable relationships to you.
Yeah.
So it shortens it.
of. Mhm.
But I mean, because most of the time it's like, are you really? No one's gonna find like a person who's like that you can work well with, that you can be friends, play video. Like there's not like most people fit into like, oh, this is the friend I go see movies with. This is the friend that I can talk about this with, and I think that's how it's supposed to be. But like,
I guess
But-
I could.
but like. Because even the people we like, I feel like some of the friends that we have are also because we work. Like I don't think I would be as, you know what I mean? Like
Sure,
I don't
yeah,
think I
yeah.
would have reconnected with Sam if it wasn't for Steam Powered Giraffe.
Right. Or
Because
I mean, it's the same. We met Mike through John, because of he was a musician.
Yeah, and none of us would have been friends if it wasn't for those.
Sure. We should take a couple more questions before
Yeah.
our
Sure.
good conversation though.
The next one's kind of related to the one you just answered, but Do you record the official music yourselves at home? Do you get outside help, or is it at a studio with professionals?
It's all here, right? We're in these microphones. I don't actually use these microphones for stuff, but yeah. In the past, it's always been a home project. In MK3, we did some like drum recordings with Matt Smith, who was our drummer at the time, like for live shows, and we recorded some of those, just to get that sound, and we didn't like any of it, so we we didn't use it. We used some of it, but so that was the only outside kind of thing we did. Maybe album 1 we did it. We went outside to record some stuff, like we recorded the C with a microphone, and we didn't have a piano, so we made use of we went to a college and snuck into one of the good grad student pianos. Like, you're not supposed to use them unless you're part of it, but somehow one was leaving, and we just left the door open, and I think we got in trouble, but we already finished. But anyways, so that on electricity, that is a nice grand piano that was in a college. We weren't supposed to use it, and I wouldn't have done it, but I was with Mike and John, and they have no respect for rules and stuff. So completely opposite. And I was like, that's fine. I'll just claim ignorance. You're on your own.
I remember we we did something similar, and we went to Balboa Park and to get the echo effect for brass goggles.
Yeah.
And the security guard came by, and we took that infamous photo. He was just a cool guy, and he was like, "Oh, you guys are in trouble," and we asked him if we could get a photo of him arresting us.
Wait, you weren't in trouble? He just said
no. He just said you guys could probably get out of here, but I'm not gonna. He didn't want to give us a hard time because he liked what we were doing, but he did say we had to go, but he was really cool about it. Let us take a picture.
Yeah, and we did stuff with parking garages and stuff like at San Diego State and stuff.
Yeah, and John got in a dumpster, I remember.
We found a dumpster where we were working at the time, and we were like, oh, and I knew it was going to be empty because they just did and it wasn't completely empty.
It was fun, he did some interesting stuff.
But that was all because that was our limitations at the time. We had one microphone and we had nothing. We could not invest money into anything. So and some people would say, oh, that's better because you're doing it all live. I'm like, it took us. How many songs are in album 1? It took us forever to make that album, and it wasn't because we put more time into it. We put more time into the process of.
It's the first. I think it's nostalgia at this point. It's because it's the first. It's the first one.
Well, some people are like, oh, I like that. It's the idea of it's better because.
Well, that's the thing. We'll never be able
real
to
puppets.
We'll never be able to recreate that again. That it's its own thing. That first album is the first album. I sounds like the first album.
I listen to it and I'm like, this is. All I want to do is remaster it.
Yeah.
Sure. There's.
But we're not going to but you know what I mean. It's
sure. Whatever. Well, we should maybe another question.
I could talk about anything forever.
What's the most embarrassing or awkward thing anybody has ever said or asked to any of you? And I myself can say that the most awkward thing, it's not one instance, but basically, if I'm working, if I'm at the table or something, don't try and be cute with me. don't try and hit on me, basically. When people start giving you the weird offhand, they think it's a compliment, but you just, they're not aware of the fact that it's really cringy and what do you expect me to do? Give me your number? That kind of thing. But that's been every job ever.
I think that's less about Steam Powered Giraffe and more.
Sexist.
Yeah,
that's more about being a woman.
I didn't mean that as a Steam Powered Giraffe, but
wait, what was the question?
What's the most awkward? Wait, is it? Where'd it go? What's the most awkward thing someone has ever said or asked you?
See, I guess mine. I've gotten asked,
embarrassing. What's the most embarrassing or awkward thing anybody has ever asked you or said to you?
I've gotten asked, or I've gotten more direct approaches, and it's maybe only a handful of times, maybe 3 that I can kind of remember of people asking, oh, can I go on a date with you? Stuff like that. And sometimes it's a younger kid.
Really
I'm okay. I don't think we're. But then sometimes it's a person that's my age, and it's and then I kind of. What? I'm here to work.
That's uncomfortable.
And but anyways.
But yeah,
it's flattering to a degree, but only because I'm a man and I'm not worried. I'm not fearful. I guess.
For me, not just Steam Powered Giraffe, but every job, it's just.
Yeah.
It's just we're working. It's our job to be nice to you. You
Well,
know, don't
yeah.
push your luck.
I mean, it's
that
a
kind of
little
thing.
different when you're like when they're a performer, I suppose, because
I don't have
Yeah.
anything that stands out like
no, not like
specifically
Um,
for Steam Powered Giraffe. Like I never had like.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know.
There
that. I
was
mean, I
one,
remember a
of
few that
course,
I remember that's happened.
There
to
was
both of
one
you.
a few years ago. I'm not gonna say where, but there was one person who like was just making me and Camille super uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
And I remember you got a few comments from them too. And most people are really sly about it and just kind of flirty, and you kind of roll your eyes. But this person was like, throwing sexual stuff at us. And it was really
and
uncomfortable.
I even picked up on that. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't have anything, but it was
It-
just like
it's-
it was
just-
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Just someone with no social awareness at all. And but once again, like I was saying, mine's more of a broad statement of like that's happened to me in every
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, and then that's the kind of
That's probably the stuff
the-
that stands out the
yeah.
most. I mean, because
Honestly,
that's the thing.
all I could think of is that's the most embarrassing stuff.
It's not
to
even
happen.
funny. It's very like
No.
it's just a problem that happens.
No,
in the
I've
world.
never. I
Yeah.
can't think of anything like funny that's been said to me because if something stands out to me, it's because I had a negative reaction to it.
Yeah.
People's like social skills and their anxieties or the awkwardness sometimes is just their that's the
Yeah.
language they speak. It's not I
Yeah.
don't keep it in my mind like, oh, haha, you're so nervous.
Like no, I don't. Yeah,
Nothing's happened like
I've
that.
I've never remembered any of that. And like if someone's nervous, like there's no one's gonna make fun of them.
I'm
like
sure
no,
there's-
I've tripped over my words to fans, like
Yeah.
helping them. I have social anxiety, and
I would imagine that's what that question is based in.
Maybe.
Is like, oh, if I'm awkward, is it gonna be?
we're not going to notice
I-
because I've been more awkward to fans I've been helping than they've been to me.
Yeah.
And honestly, we've even
This
after
is-
a show, it's like like we're not going back and talking about. You remember that
Yeah,
person? Like
no.
like we're. I mean, I'm a shy person. Like I've learned the skills, just like I assume Bunny, and to talk to people because we're in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's alien to us. It's not like It's not like we're rolling our eyes like, come on, just say what you want. It's like obviously we're supportive of you just being alive.
I've had like numerous just people being awkward about my gender transition, especially in Texas. Like that's every time I go to Texas, it's inevitable. It's inevitable that
Yeah, it sucks that it's the
You
kind of like when we're there, we're like, oh yeah, we're meeting all these people that are like, it's normal, like normal people. But then
Sure.
at the same time, that's kind of a flavor of it. Even
yeah,
even
I
though
mean,
you
it's
don't
not
really
like
think so.
I
but-
don't say it's awkward, and I mean it's kind of embarrassing depending on how they do this thing that all trans people know. It's like the sir, ma'am, and they just keep repeating it. Sir,
Well,
ma'am, sir, ma'am,
yeah.
sir, ma'am, and it's
Well,
like you don't have to say it so many times.
I was going to say the absolute worst ones are the ones who are doing it on purpose because they're trying to like get a reaction from you.
I can't tell if there's people doing it on
Camille
purpose.
and I have got one of those probably at a convention in Texas, like when no one else was around, like asking questions, and we were like,
Oh.
just go. Like they're like they're feigning ignorance, but you know that they're doing it to push your buttons and try and like get a reaction from you. It's just awful.
I mean, but you have to imagine. I mean, I know what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
and to be fair, that was an old person, and they're in an environment where they're never
Yeah, no,
going to
this
be
is-
able to say something again,
Anyone-
and they're like,
Exactly.
this is my platform.
We've gotten a few of those, and any of these people I'm saying who are like feigning ignorance and trying to push buttons on purpose, they're never under a certain age. Like
I mean,
I
it's
would
just-
say it's
yeah,
it's a
unfortunately.
lot of
Yeah.
older people that do that. I don't know if everyone's
that,
been
that
like
could be one.
I mean, the older you get, the more entitled you feel. So that's
I
just
don't know.
that's.
I don't know if
normal.
I've encountered that. There was one older gentleman that kind of made it awkward, but I don't know. Like he was just uncomfortable with it.
I'm sure maybe part of it also. I'm just assuming from your point of view is like you already have you're already able to deal with just people in general because of Steam Powered Giraffe. But then after the transition, it's like it's another step. But at least you already have that first step, right?
Sure. I mean, I think the worst is it's like when the fans do it and stuff. I mean, I don't know. It's like it just happens. It's
Yeah.
just it can make you feel bad, but it's like nothing's worse than if you do try to correct yourself. If anything,
Yeah.
just steer clear of ever using pronouns. But it's so hard for people. Like,
Yeah.
but I don't know. There was a barista at the airport. I think that stood out to me and just like really got to me because they did the whole sir, ma'am, sir, ma'am, sir, ma'am, and there was all these people around like. And it was so embarrassing. And I just said, it's ma'am. And then luckily, like, the customers had my back. Like, they were...
I
were
was
like-
there for that.
like, I don't know. It seems pretty obvious that she's a woman to me. And I was just, like,
I didn't hear
so
that
mortified.
one,
but, like,
yeah.
it was nice that it was just the baristas kind of... she'd never
Yeah.
probably encountered a trans person.
that's what most of these and awkward things with that I've seen is that it's most of the time it's that rather than someone going out of their way.
Sure, yeah.
to
I mean,
make a scene or
I don't know if
something.
someone has done that to me. I don't really care. I mean,
Yeah.
every once in a while I will get the person that misgenders me offhandedly, and they're just like, all their nerves come out suddenly, and like, oh god.
Yeah.
But whatever. I guess just kind of get used to it. I just stop caring. I
Sad
guess.
thing, unfortunately.
I mean, that's the thing. I probably won't see these people again.
Yeah, I don't know if you
They
were
bought a
expecting
CD,
like
what do
a
I care?
funny answer for that one, but obviously the question itself doesn't really have any like entertaining answers because, like I said, most of the experiences that stick out to us.
This
is
one person
awkward or
came up there and they
embarrassing.
peed their pants, and oh my god, we laughed about it. We
Yeah.
laughed at them the whole time. No, it's never
There's-
happened.
no.
Like if you pee your pants, of course we're gonna ignore it just like you did.
All right.
I mean,
I don't know why I'm talking about that.
How about here's a kind of funny one. Back in the old days in Balboa Park, there was this kid, and he would
He
come
used
up
to
to us and he
Kick you in the shins.
No. He was an older kid, but he would talk about his flea bites. Like he just had this essay to tell us about
Oh yeah, okay.
the flea bites that he had all over his body. And like that was kind of funny. Like,
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I get it because like
he
if
was
you're-
being serious and he was
Now
a good guy, good kid. But
now I'm
it
thinking
was
about
just-
little kids. I liked the kid who
I don't
came
know, he
up
wasn't
to
that
us.
little.
No, he was he was obviously older, and I don't know. We were kind of
Yeah.
babysitting him in a sense because I don't know where his parents were, but
But we were just at Balboa Park, and if he's hanging around, it was like, well, you can watch the show, but
I remember one little kid. I think he was like at a convention before we did the show. Like me and Camille spent a day selling, and he came up to us and he was like getting our autographs, and he was so excited to meet Hatchet. And Sam like thought that was really funny, and I remember he like worked it into the act that night.
Oh,
He
yeah,
was
I
like,
think I
"I'm
remember
Hatchet."
so there's,
kids.
there's a lot of cute things
Yeah.
that fans do. Talk about
Ah.
their flea bites and show us their flea bites all over their body, which is kind of weird.
Well, it's 2:04. I had one more question, and this one's kind of like broad, but I don't know if you guys want to go over it real quick. How long does the live show take to put together from concept to finished show? And I don't know if they mean one or like an act that we travel with for a year.
well, that's tough.
But-
It's tough because when we change a robot out, like, and that doesn't happen very often, every 4 or 5 years, maybe so far. Anyways, it's been we obviously Bunny and I have stuff that we're starting from, and we can't just start from scratch, and so it's kind of a hybrid.
It's kind of happening all the time. Little
Yeah.
bits and pieces are being developed all the time.
So most of the time, it's never usually a
like,
completely new
erase
act every
it all
time.
and start over.
Because even though it's the idea,
doesn't really
I think is
happen.
usually like 1 year we'll have that same show and we'll tour with that.
Mm-hmm.
It's more like we start at one point and then by the end of the year it's a different show.
yeah, so it's hard to say. It's not like a block of months where we start from scratch.
I mean, it's the only way to
build
do
a
it
new
anyways.
show.
I mean, if we can't just stop and make a new show in a few weeks, but we can take away a song, add another one, put in and change bits and stuff. And I think that's just organically how it goes.
Some of the bigger bits or sweeping changes take a little longer, but with Brian, it was probably the biggest. Much work. It was a lot of work, and we had a lot of new stuff, so it took
Yeah.
like a good 3-4 months, probably more. But
Yeah, we started in October. I mean, a little bit in September.
a lot of it
but-
was allowing Brian to just catch up, but also we had a lot of stuff that we had to learn too.
There was new stuff for us, and no one in the live streams other than like Diamonds, like no one got to see that stuff.
Yeah,
Like Overdrive and stuff. Like
yeah. Overdrive took a long time.
that was a lot.
It's a
We'll only get to do that one when we have a proper stage. 'Cause
Well, I think
it
that's-
takes
Yeah.
it takes everyone to be able to fit
Right.
on stage.
it just doesn't work on. Anyways, I guess
Yeah.
I guess it's the end of the.
yeah. We probably have more to talk about.
But that 2-hour podcast is pretty good.
I like chatting. Just,
After-
just chatting and chilling.
Right.
I don't want to say the quality. I don't want to say good. I just mean, like,
after not doing it for a week, you got a lot more to say, right?
yeah. When we
So-
first start, you're like, "What are we gonna talk about?" Brian's not here. Like, it's just us. It's just the normies. We don't have a. It was exciting when Brian. I'm not trying to say that we all suck, but you know what I mean.
We're the
It's
regulars.
not as fun as like. Oh well,
It's cool when you got
someone
like a
new's here.
guest or a special guest.
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
hey, look everyone, look at this, because we were so comfortable
Yeah.
with each other. It's like no one cares about it. Anyways, let's get some. We were lazy and didn't want to put the fourth mic. I gotta pee real bad, so it's real great this is ending.
it's almost over.
It's a podcast with Steam Powered Giraffe. It was the Bennettarium. We didn't talk about VR this time. Not in a while. Maybe we should have Bennettarium. It's the Bennettarium. And we'll see you next week unless we skip it.
See you guys. Thanks for tuning in.
We'll get back to VR eventually. I'm sure there's plenty to talk
I
about.
was just joking.
We
but
talked about VR before the podcast,
Yes.
actually.
If we don't talk about VR for every podcast, something's wrong.
That's right.
It's not a world-changing thing.
Let's see. Now I gotta work. More work.
Everyone wave goodbye.
Bye.